Oh my God.
Woo! Let's do this.
All right. I'm not even going to host the show. You know who's going to host it?
You and me both.
This guy right here. You know, I feel like if this was a movie, this inanimate crow, shout out to Yash, my buddy who sent me this last year. If this was a movie, the crow would come alive and would start pecking my eyeballs out for the utter and complete disrespect that I have given not only this year, but over the course of his Knicks career to one RJ Barrett. I feel DJ Zulo, I introduced my co-host for this postgame. First, for this 102-93 win. Oh my God, I can't believe we won this game. DJ.
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling not conflicted. I'm feeling so there's two sides of me right now. There is a side of me who wants to celebrate the team effort that we just saw, because in no uncertain terms was this a team effort to overcome. Oh, and I have to do this early, don't I? To overcome not only a very good Cavalier team that is shook, granted, that is shook, but also overcome an effort from a prominent player on their own team that was detrimental.
Yeah.
Do you have a better word for it?
No, I mean, and the coach told you that, the head coach of the Knicks.
And thank by the way,
yeah,
thank God for that head coach.
Yes, sir.
And what he did in the fourth quarter of this game. So we have to celebrate that team effort, because it took a village to win this game. It took the guy we're going to talk about. It took Jalen Brunson. My God, it did it. Mitchell Robinson, best game in Mitchell Robinson's career. I mean, it's in the conversation. We'll talk about that. Isaiah Hartenstein from him. And then Josh Hart, I mean, not his best game in transition finishing, but boy, did he make up for it in other ways. I mean, up and down. Deuce McBride making a three. Obi Toppin making winning plays, although, Obi, please don't ever take that three-pointer again with 14 seconds left on the clock. Up and down the roster. Team. And it's been this way all year for this group. Team. And yet the other side of me watches a guy who I have heard people for 4 years now tell me that this was a star player. And I have listened to them, and I have watched them say this again and again and again and again. And I have in my head, I'm like, look, I'm a host of a Knicks podcast. I can't tell these people that I think they're idiots, because then I'm not going to have a podcast anymore. And nobody's going to listen to me or watch me or read my newsletters. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't see what they are. I saw what they're seeing, and I saw what their logic was, the leaps that they were making. I didn't believe it. That's what it comes down to. I was a non-believer. I didn't believe it. And my God, for him to show up after the last game, which was the RJ game, and do this, which was, I don't have the words for it, so I'm going to throw it over to you. DJ Zulo, talk about RJ Barrett, please.
I mean, you and I did a podcast not too long ago where we questioned whether or not he should be playing prominent minutes in the series.
Or period.
Or period.
Like, yeah.
And listen, and not to make this a Stephen A thing, but he is a prominent voice in the media world, and he went on national TV and said RJ Barrett doesn't belong in this series. And I know that those are the things that'll get back to him. And I think you even said at one point, I hope RJ's hearing what we're saying about him. And you know that people are listening, and it'll get back to him. And he is a prideful guy, and that is the one thing where you question all the, whether the skill is there, whether the athleticism is there. You can never question his mental capacity to believe in himself. And that is something where if you don't have that as your prerequisite, you don't do what he did in these last two games, because he had every opportunity to cower, because everything was not but so much was on his shoulders these last two games. And especially today,
by necessity, there was no choice. Had to be.
He was the best player for large stretches of this game on the floor. He was at least the second best player on the floor, because Brunson had his heroics, but he was absolutely unreal. And he did it by going 0 for 6 from a 3-point line and just attacking. He had 13 free throws. Granted, he missed some, but the Cavaliers, with all their size and all the things we thought that RJ wasn't going to be able to have success with, he didn't care. He took the ball to the rim time after time after time and finished. It was an unreal performance. It's the best he's ever looked at the basket. Inside hand finishes, going to both sides of the rim. Just unreal. His passing was on point again. Just an incredible performance. I think the KFC account tweeted out the RJ legacy performance. It absolutely was. A game where we might look back at this game and be like, this is when he arrived.
So okay, so that's the thing, and that was my only pushback after the last game is anybody who was like, this is the RJ game. I'm like, well, hold on a second. If he did this now, then no, this isn't the RJ game. This is the first RJ game.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with what you just said. I have to give a shout out right now because my God, sometimes analogies, I always try to think of good analogies. I'm not very good at it. I got an email earlier today. I think it was earlier today. I saw it earlier today. It might have been from yesterday. I'm going to wrote his name down. Philip Mangialuso. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. If I didn't, it's bad because I'm Italian, and he sounds Italian too. And he sent me an email. He was exuberant. His sons went to Game 3, and he's a big Knicks fan. He was calling Knicks in 5 after Game 3. And he was like, RJ Barrett is Neo from The Matrix, where it's like we see it. We believe. And he's a believer. He's obviously an RJ believer. We see it. We believe it's going to come. And watching RJ today, there was a moment. Hold on. It was when it was. I think it was to make it to 88-79, or it was when the Knicks got to 88 points when Brunson hit him on the wing after Brunson got doubled, and RJ was into his drive. I think before he completed the catch, and just finished. And I just stood up and I'm like, he's finally doing it. Yep. And I felt like one of the other characters in the Matrix watching Neo like dodge the bullets because I was like, we believe, like, again, not me. I don't want to say me. I can't be part of we today. I can't be part of we. The believers out there believed it, and they had to see what he was doing today and say, there it is. He's finally doing it all. He's finally doing it. This is why I had the faith, and I can't say enough about him. We could sit here and we could talk about RJ Barrett for an hour, but let's focus in on this series because there is still a basketball series going on. That, by the way, is not over. I want to. We're all very happy right now. It is not over. Give me, other than what we just talked about with RJ, as
everyone is pumped in the Macri household. Everyone, listen.
No, hold on. That's your daughter reacting because it's over, Jonathan. It's over. Tell me a little something, Donovan Mitchell. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Hold on. Should I tell Dolores to open the window?
Yes, we're jumping.
We're jumping? Okay, we're jumping.
We're jumping today, baby.
You jump, I jump, Jack. Okay. Composure.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed. Composure. Give me your one. Give me another takeaway.
Okay. So here's the big one. I wrote it down in the second quarter.
The big one. Okay.
And this is what I think Mark Jackson actually even alluded to this. I wrote, do the Knicks have the best player in the series? I mean, the way Mitchell has, he had 5 for 18, 2 points in the second half.
Underwhelming. Can we say that?
Underwhelming. And if you look at Donovan Mitchell's career, and I had tweeted to this effect earlier, he has one game in every series where it's just not there. And 5 for 18, the Knicks, the defense, he missed some shots where he normally is going to make some in and outs. But the way Jalen Brunson has completely changed everything the Cavs do defensively, it's not just the scoring. It's the fact that they are overloading so aggressively on his side. And the Knicks, as they have moved along and things got a little scary at certain points with how they were handling things when they were trapping Brunson, and there was too much of the Mitchell Robinson Brunson screening rolls, which was inviting the trap. And in the fourth quarter, they started to move off that and get that guard-to-guard screening, which immediately paid dividends. But the way Brunson is playing, the way he is just completely manhandling Garland, and to me, that was the matchup where it was JB Bickerstaff. He put Garland on Brunson right away, and JB had no problem shooting over his shot contest, and it was a theme throughout the game. It started him off well, and to me, that was a complete unforced error by Bickerstaff. I'm not really sure why he did it, because it got Brunson going in the first, and it got Brunson going again in the fourth quarter. To me, he's been an elite offensive player, and while the defense leaves a little bit to be desired, he has been as good as Donovan Mitchell in this series. And for my money, he might be the best guy going right now, which if you said that to me before the series started, I would have thought you were crazy as good as JB is, but he's been that good throughout these 5 games.
I want to hit on Donovan Mitchell one more time because speaking of best players in the series, I'm not sure he's been the best Mitchell in this series,
yes.
and we're gonna, oh boy, are we gonna get there. Mitchell had, and you said it clicked in my mind when you said it, some shots that went in and out. He had a 3-point attempt with, where was it? Yes, I believe it was the one with 7:52 remaining. It was 81-77 at the time.
Yeah.
It went in and out. That would have cut it to 1. I wrote it down because I was like, I wonder if that's one we look back on, like who had that shot gone down. And from that point forward, the Knicks kind of sort of took control and they didn't give it up. Brunson, and like, you know what I want to do? You just gave all that very astute analysis, and I'm going to go back to being talking head guy for a second, which is to say, and you know what he didn't do in the fourth quarter? He wasn't selfish because he knew RJ Barrett, the ball in RJ Barrett's hands was the path to this win, and just so unwilling or so willing and so unselfish to defer when does he make the right basketball play every time? Maybe not every time, but his intention in terms of what he wants to do and what he cares about. I don't know the man. I don't think there's a bone in his body that doesn't care about winning first, second, and third, and everything else fourth.
Yeah, he got RJ going. It was RJ on the right side of the court primarily, which is another example of things that RJ was doing where he's not typically at his best on the right side of the floor when he's going to his right hand, but he did it multiple times. He would finish it with that inside hand lefty finish a few occasions, and It was again Jalen Brunson it was his gravity to bring 2 to him, and then it gave RJ with a moving defense attacking those seams that stampede driver, like you mentioned, he's moving his feet as the ball is coming to him, so as he catches that ball, his momentum is clear to the rim, and it's a sort of thing that as we talk more beyond this game, we want Julius to start attacking these closeouts, but RJ, he nailed it, everything about this game. And this is with some, 5 missed free throws and 0 for 6 from the 3-point line. So not a perfect performance, but to do that, have those performances at the 3-point line and the free throw line and still dominate the game in large swaths. Incredible.
We should say that RJ Barrett, like you said, he missed free throws. He missed threes. Like, it just underscores the fact that he was kind of perfect from everybody else. 0 of 6 from 3. That means he was 9 of 12 from inside the arc. He took 12 2-point shots and ended up with 26 points. Any math you want to do, that's an efficient, good game. So we talked about RJ. Yeah, we talked about RJ. We talked about Brunson. I think we have to go to Mitchell Robinson next because this is a 3-headed monster. This game. He is. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm not. There was a certain Knicks beat writer who may have texted me something earlier with I described as a hot take about his opinion of Mitchell Robinson in this series, and I'm not gonna say who it is, or I'm not gonna say what
best center on the floor.
More than that. Let's just say fairly effusive in his praise. Mitchell Robinson, I said a month or so ago when it looked like this series was going to happen. If he's the best center or the best big man in this series, the Knicks aren't losing the series. There's just no way that they're going to lose the series. He has been the best big man in the series. I talked about it. I don't want to get your opinion on it too, because I know you think about this a lot also, specifically with the center position in the NBA and how interesting a position it has become as the game has evolved in many ways. But I said to XJ, like, do you want the Kevon Looney, more steady as she goes, can allow you to do different things, doesn't really take anything off the table? Or do you want the guy that there are holes in his game, but the highs are, oh goodness gracious, do you have to bend your neck to see? So what are your thoughts on Mitchell's game today?
I mean, it's a great point. I think for this team in this matchup, you take the highs because his ability to exert his will. I always think back to like the skinny kid in summer league where You looked at him and he was a ball of energy. He was blocking every shot, but going for every block. He didn't know what was going on, but he would figure out a way against the Magic his rookie year to get 8 or 9 blocks in a game.
Like his 9th game.
And then you fast forward to this disciplined,
oh my God,
strong. Whether he is his strength and his base. I mean, he bodies guys, and for him to grow into credit to the Knicks strength and conditioning, credit to the just the responsibility the head coach has put into this guy, because he makes their defense
trust,
absolutely. And Mitch, he has earned it, and he has been an absolute force as a defender. And tonight it was the offensive rebounding, it was the tip-ins, it was the finishing, which has been hit or miss in this series. And there was a stretch in the third quarter where he was the only thing they had going, where the offense had completely bogged down. I think they had scored 19 points in that quarter. He was the only offense, which was him cleaning up misses. Just an incredible performance. He is by far the best center in the series. And I will not hear anything else about Jarrett Allen, because he is right now being abused physically and maybe mentally by a guy that has I am just so proud of the growth and where he is. The Knicks they're not anywhere close to this position without him. And he has just turned this defense, which was not a great unit in the first half. This regular season, into an elite defense in this series, and just all the credit to him. He's been absolutely magnificent.
And 2 things on that. One, me and you've been watching Knicks basketball for a long time.
Yes, sir.
But also we've been watching NBA basketball for a long time. And in a game that has the tenor of this one, where team comes out, clearly the better team, so good that they should be up by, I don't know if you want to say they should be up by 15 at halftime, should be up closer to 20 at halftime, somewhere in that range. And they're only up by 9. And then the other team comes out and okay, boom, there's the hit.
Yep.
Did what they needed to do. We know how that game goes because we've seen it again and again and again and again. And that stretch that you're talking about in the third quarter, where the Knicks just had nothing going for a variety of reasons on offense, for Mitch to keep them in it during that time, I believe may have saved the game for them, to say nothing of what he did on the other end of the floor. Absolutely spectacular. And the second thing I want to say is, because for as much as we're praising Mitchell Robinson, what a luxury for the Knicks to have a backup to Mitchell Robinson, who is not bad in his own right. And with all, I feel like, so we're not getting to the play of the game yet. We'll get there in a bit, but there was something about the block, as again, the avalanche was coming. It was there. Mm-hmm. The block Isaiah Hartenstein had late in the third quarter, I believe it led to a basket that put them back up. So they were down, and then made it after the basket that put them back up, 70-69. Knicks take the lead back. There was something about the momentum of that play. And look, it's 48 minutes of exceptional defense, and the people that I want to give praise for at this moment is the front office. And I guess Tom Thibodeau too, because these two, and this may seem a little off the beaten path, but the front office and Tibbs have not always been on the same page, to say the least. They got together on this one where they were like, okay, we know how we play basketball and we know how we are going to win basketball games. And they went out and they found this player to back up Mitch and step in for Mitch if Mitch is hurt. And it's just what you're going to get from the Knicks at the center position every time you walk into a game. It's amazing.
It's been talked about on the broadcast today. We've discussed it. He was not himself in the first, third of the season, Hartenstein, with the Achilles injury. Since about that, December mark, he has been as good a center backing up anyone in the league. There are times where he's as good as a starting center. And as you mentioned, there is just not a lot you're losing when you swap him for Mitch. And to me, it's the old axiom that Thibodeau is just, one of his things, 48 minutes of rim protection. And in this series, it has just been, it's invited that, because the Cavaliers, obviously their greatness is their size in the back line. And the Knicks centers right now are bigger than the Cavs bigs. They are playing tougher than the Cavs bigs, and they are beating the Cavs bigs. And even though Mobley played better today, and credit to him, he had a much more efficient game and he finished much better.
Yeah,
right now
he did.
he cannot, and Jared Allen cannot handle the size, the strength, and the ability to the Knicks centers to enforce their will. And it has been an absolute key to the series, as you mentioned. And to me, because the Knicks don't lose anything when Mitch is out, it's a huge factor. And just credit to the front office.
Look, this isn't apples to apples, but Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein combined for 19 rebounds in this game, in a game in which the New York Knicks in total got 47 rebounds. The Cleveland Cavaliers got 33 rebounds, and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen combined for 11. 11 is less than 19. That is your analysis for this edition of the Knicks Film School Podcast. I don't have anything to add. You nailed it. Defensively, the Knicks second unit was great. Deuce McBride again. Talk about Deuce McBride 3-pointer, man. We have about 13 or 15 or 18 candidates for play of the game. I'm going to give a shout out to that Deuce McBride 3-pointer. Quickly couldn't buy a bucket today, but he helped the team. And oh my God, does he help the team in other ways? Obi Toppin, I mentioned already. But the guy that I want to end with on the positive, and then then we have to go negative for a bit, and then we'll end with positive for the opening, is Josh Hart. This team was a nice team before they got Josh Hart. They were a nice team. They were a spunky team. You might even say they were a good team. Could we call them a great team because of Josh Hart? Is that too much? Is that too high, lofty a praise for what? Again, is Josh Hart a great NBA player? No, Josh Hart is not a great NBA player, but like for what he did for this team in filling in a gap that was maybe not an obvious gap, but since watching the team with Hart, you're like, man, how did they ever play without this guy? And 40 minutes today, 40 absolutely necessary minutes. So, yeah, 19 points and 7 rebounds. My goodness.
Incredible game. And that was with the Cavaliers doing a really good job of taking away his right hand in transition on a few occasions. He adjusted.
Smart by them.
Smart, really smart, good adjustment. There was ABC had the quote from Thibodeau when he went to Josh Hart. All right, you get a minute of rest. And then Hart responded, I got 48 if you need me. And that is just who he is. He is an absolutely phenomenally conditioned athlete that has been living, I'm sure, for this moment. You know, he's had an unfortunate, span of seasons where he just has found himself with young teams that weren't playoff contenders.
Nope.
So it's just, again, we talk about like this matchup, and it's like, he is just perfect for what this matchup needs. They need that extra guy that the Cavaliers, when they can figure out a way to keep the Knicks center and Julius off the offensive glass, here's a guy flying in from the perimeter, exerting his will time after time again. And then it's on the other end where, to me, as good as Quentin Grimes is as a defender on Mitchell, he's been really good. I think Josh Hart is a step above for a variety of reasons. I think his agility side to side is great, and he doesn't foul. He was in Mitchell the entire game, and it set the tone. It set the tone, and to get him for what they traded for, he's been a godsend. And the points, the fall away mid-ranger that he threw in, I think that made it 9, if I don't have that right.
Sorry, what's
it was at it was late in the shot clock where he kind of had to just
the floater,
the floater where he just kind of like found himself with the ball with the shot clock running down. He ended up throwing it in. He kind of just
94-85. Yeah.
It made him. It made the team, sort of like put their foot on the throat, and the Knicks obviously didn't let up. But he was just fantastic, and to do what he does with the minutes he was required to do, and just play with that abandon, guarding the best player in the other floor. Again, he is just. I mean, you work. You put yourself in a position in terms of your body and your physicality to play in these games, and to do it and still have enough at the end of the game to sort of take it over a little bit in stretches. It's
energy
a wonderful
takes
game.
it over.
His energy, and it never quits.
No,
it never quits. And there more was asked of him today for obvious reasons. And it wasn't like I never looked at him on the court and thought, yeah, they need to get him out, just give him a blow. He was there time after time again, like I mentioned, guarding the best player. An absolute amazing, phenomenal game. He's had two of these games already this series where he's been as good as anyone. So credit to the Knicks and credit to him.
and he's not even one of the 3 best players in the game, which again, give it up for the Knicks front office, man.
Yep, absolutely.
Another group that I've been talking about my criticisms of RJ. My criticisms of this front office have been there, especially after this summer, which in terms of their process for the Mitchell trade thing. Boy, have they assembled a nice team. You mentioned Grimes was out. We should just note Quentin Grimes did not play in this game, and he has been thought of by some people as their best perimeter defender over the course of this year, even after they got Josh Hart. So the fact that he wasn't there against this team with these guards and they held them to 93 points. Phenomenal job, I think, of coaching up the Knicks to know exactly how they need to play this game. And speaking of the coach, because for better or worse, at some point, Tom Thibodeau's not going to be here anymore, and at some point, Julius Randle is not going to be here anymore. They will always be tied together. And last season, they were tied together in a way that was not fun for anybody involved. I'm sure it wasn't fun for them because Julius was not good and was not good in a way that would have seemed to warrant some sort of action from the coach. Never really came. And that brought us to this season, and Julius Randle had a comeback, his second comeback. Don't call it a comeback. This series, after a first half in game 1, which was necessary to them winning that game, make no mistake about it, he has been not great. And today, after a first half in which he was not great, he had a third quarter in which he was I don't know.
Both ends, right? It was just both, the offense.
What was worse? I think actually the defensive end was worse.
The defense certainly, I think, hurt the Knicks more. It was one that you're on Twitter and you just kind of see the same analysis one by one.
Yeah.
Julius just missing rotation after rotation. And
where's the effort?
Where's the effort? And to me, when the Cavaliers, and just to go back on the offense for a second, when the Cavaliers said Jetty Osman is guarding Julius Randle, to me, that was, for Julius, a moment where you have to look at yourself and be like, all right, the Cavaliers are doing this. I am an all-NBA level player this year, and they're putting arguably one of the worst defensive players on me and feeling comfortable. And for the Knicks to not take advantage of that in multiple sequences in this game, early in the first half and in the second half, to me, just spoke to where Julius is as an offensive player right now. And I question Tibbs because, again, we have the last year as an example. I didn't know if he was going to bring him back. And the fact that Obi stayed in the game was a bit of a surprise for me just because of the history. But I'm glad Tom made that move. It was the right move. It was, to me, probably the only move you could have made. Obi played 20 minutes, didn't have an amazing offensive game, but had 5 offensive rebounds. His defense, to me, wasn't glaringly bad. I mean, I thought he was a part of a unit that was solid the entire night he was out there.
Well, can I? Yeah. I want to jump in really quick because to me, kind of the most ironic part of the Obi Randle discussion, it's kind of funky because last year was such a lost season, and it's like if there was ever a season to like throw stuff against the wall, that would have been the year. But like, if there was a more Tibbsian player that was backing up Julius Randle, I wonder if so many of these conversations over the last few years would have been different. But like, and I don't want to bash Obi. Obi does some things that are really well, and then Obi does some things that can leave a bit to be desired that happen to be things that this head coach values a great deal. So like, it's interesting, like, to hear you talk about, like, was Obi great? No, but like, he was the best option. Like, imagine an alternative universe where over the last several years, like, there was like like Jared Vanderbilt, it was him instead of Obi Toppin, or some such player like of that nature. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I do. It's not a perfect marriage, but they needed those 20 minutes.
Oh God, did they?
They needed them, and it is an open question, what they're going to get from Julius over these next how many games are left. Hopefully, just one. But there may be more than one because this team is prideful and they are going back to Cleveland. So I'm certainly, as you are, I'm not calling for this series to be over just yet. 2 out of these 3 games will be in Cleveland if they extend to 7. So just keep that in mind. But I will just say this, the Knicks were 3-1 against them during the regular season. They're 3-1, obviously, in this postseason, 6-2 as a whole. So, it's like one of those things where, like, did we miss this? For anyone that thought this was going to be a 7-game series or the Cavaliers were going to win, the Knicks have played 8 games against them this year and they've won 6 of them. There's a lot to analyze, but that right there, the Knicks have won 6 out of these 8 games, and Jalen Brunson has been as good as Donovan Mitchell. So there's a lot to kind of work our way around and figure out, and we'll talk about, the 5th game, but the Knicks have just been better than Cleveland this year. They played 8 games. Knicks have been better, and that says a lot for how good this Cavalier team was this season.
Yeah, and that was what kept getting me. I don't know how else to say it. I'm a numbers guy. I'm a nerd. I rely second best net rating. I just looked at that. It was second best net rating for a reason. And we'll see. Series is not over yet though. Okay, let's end on a high note. Let's do a quick personal injury report and then moment of the game. So injury report, we already said it a few times. Quentin Grimes did not play in this game. Multiple beat writers tweeted out that couple things of interest. One, normally a player who is a true game time decision, and DJ, you would know a lot more about this than I would, is going to come out and warm up and see if he could give it a go. Quentin Grimes did not do that. So I don't think this was ever a true game time decision.
Doesn't seem that way.
No, does not seem that way. 2 days off before Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Knicks have obviously proven they could win without him. Again, I'd like to have him back. So that's number one. Number two, he was in a sling on the bench that man, how can I delicately put this? Anytime you see every beat writer for the Knicks tweet out the same sentiment, which was the sling is for precautionary measures only,
it got back to them. Yeah,
that's not an accident.
No. That was some quick work by the Knicks PR staff.
Yeah, that was
sure.
Okay. Yeah. You said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the same thing.
Thank you.
And, it's like you see a player in a boot after a minor ankle injury, whether or not it was true precautionary. Again, who knows? But you hope that a couple days off clears whatever's going on there.
Hopefully. So we'll see what happens with that. By the way, we just got this is Tom Thibodeau, and listen, if you've paid attention to this coach at all over the last few years, you know that this is exactly the sort of thing that he would say. He called Julius. He says he's our horse. He gives us everything he has. I don't know what question that was in response to after the game, but we'll see. And then he added this. Tom Thibodeau and Julius Randle. Julius is our horse. Most players probably wouldn't be playing right now. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, well, okay.
That is interesting. I don't know that does that. It's interesting because he's had defensive moments in this series that were very good. They have been less than the defensive moments that have not been very good. And he also had that first half of game one, which looked good too. But I don't know. Is this a head coach covering up for his player, or is this legit? I don't know that it makes a difference, but whatever.
Well, if that is he's alluding to an ankle injury that's lingering, that is something to be concerned about, because there has been sort of these moments where I'm like, all right, why isn't he attacking? You have Jetty Osman on you. Why aren't you attacking? And maybe there is a limitation that we're just not aware of. And
there was a lift issue for sure in game 2, I think. So, okay. Let's end on a high note with moment of the game. We'll get Andrew up here for this, because to hell if I'm going to try to do this by my damn self.
Nah.
You stop that, please.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh my God.
Goodbye.
He's doing this because he knows it makes me so angry.
We're not in Ohio anymore, you flyover state losers.
You know who I want to get on the pod?
It's over.
Andrew, hold on. I have
itsy bitsy spider went to Cleveland and he couldn't show up in the playoffs.
You know who I want to get on? The girl on Twitter who keeps talking about the rats in New York City.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to get her on. Yeah. I'd like to have a discussion with her about the merits of Cleveland.
Hilarious 9/11 jokes, you losers. Okay, enjoy the offseason with no first-round picks, no control over your draft for the next 8 years.
Andrew. Oh my God, this is. You know what he's doing this for? All the times that I spout off my mouth about something and he can't stop me. Now he's doing it, and I have no control over him.
This is the ultimate payback. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the journey. Yes, fine. Rationally, like. We got to win one more. Job not finished.
No, not rationally. Literally, we have to win one more.
Job not finished, in the words of Kobe Bryant. But you losers in Cleveland, you have LeBron, and that's it. You have the 2016 title, and that's it. You're a city of losers.
Oh, my God.
New York has experience. I'll take a Yankee victory lap. We just rocked the baby in the playoffs. Well, I can't say we. They just rocked the baby in the playoffs on you most recently.
I'm going to pretend I know.
Your football team is the Browns. I'm a Jets fan, and I can talk shit.
So that's funny. Long live Tim Couch. Okay. Play the game.
Moment of the game.
It was funny. I kept writing like play of the game for all like one play after another. And then I just put in like giant letters play of the game for the Josh Hart offensive rebound to the Jalen Brunson 3. That was, for all intents and purposes, the nail in the coffin. Any disagreements from the panel about whether that should be one of the candidates?
Absolutely not.
That made it, what, 97-87?
I'll get to it.
Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin I have. So the first one I had was the Hartenstein block, which
yes, it was 97-87. Okay.
You put we said it like it's the turning point in the series because it was a block that the Cavs get it, they go up 3. Instead, it leads to an RJ layup, so the Knicks reverse it. It like the Cavs ended up taking the lead anyway, but Cavs go up 3. You don't know how that momentum swing could have been.
I mentioned it before.
It the lead instead.
I think it had. So are we making that another candidate?
It's a candidate. I got like a bunch of candidates. And the other thing about there's an RJ. One? Okay, go ahead. There's an RJ and one I want to get to though.
I was going to get to the RJ fadeaway that made it
75. Yeah, huge.
75.
That was I started that one.
By the way, quick shout out to my wall neighbors here in my building on Clinton Street, Lauren and Matt, both Duke grads, both insane Duke basketball fans, watch the game here with us today. I want to give them like a little bit of the credit for RJ's big game.
So the reason I don't have the fadeaway and I have the and one before it, and it's a thing that hasn't been said yet, although I really enjoyed the first 30 minutes of this, and it's a thing about RJ and his 2-point game that was so important. The 4th, 5th, and 6th fouls by Evan Mobley were on RJ layups. That and one was Mobley's 5th foul, which took him out of the game for the majority of the 4th quarter.
Great job.
That's where RJ getting that 5th foul on Mobley and one to make it 78-75 completely changed the game for me.
For me, the fadeaway was the emotion nicer. Of the fadeaway.
But that was the process being like, okay, RJ's going to the rim strong, through contact, he's finishing and one, and he made a free throw. Something he was like hit or miss on today. And the foul put Mobley in trouble.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Mobley had 5 fouls in the second half. Like,
can we put them both? Can we do 4? Can we do 4?
11 candidates. The whole 4th quarter, every moment I basically wrote down.
Well, we could do the most is 4, right?
Yes, it feels wrong not to have a Jalen Brunson moment. Although you have the Jalen Brunson 3. Oh,
no, the Brunson offensive rebounds, the Jalen Brunson 3.
Those 4 then.
That's the 2 RJ ones and the iHeart. I think that's good. A couple other honorable mentions. Obi, oh my God, Obi.
The Obi layup. And
the offensive rebound.
Obi had 5 offensive rebounds.
20 dribbles.
He actually played a lot better than 8 rebounds today from Obi Toppin. All he had to do in that 4th quarter was not be Randle, and he did that. He was much better.
No, you're absolutely right. Listen, I mentioned this in a newsletter recently. Every post game, there's something I get blatantly wrong, and it's probably because of like the things that I'm focused on and the things that I'm not focused on. Obi Toppin is much better than we just made him out to be. You're dead right on that. Only had 2 field goals, but 8 rebounds, as you said, 5 offensive rebounds. I mean, yes, it was important that he wasn't Randle, but that play, man, where he was dribbling around. I'm like, oh no. And then I'm like, you see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
You see it coming. And then I'm like, wait, is he going to yam on him? And then he ends up with a layup. Yeah.
I have that as an OLI also, an outside looking in. Obi took 3 shots in the fourth quarter. He didn't have to be this impactful offensive player. He had to rebound, which there's your Tibbsian player, Obi Toppin. A rebound, a fourth quarter for Obi Toppin, had 5 rebounds, 2 of them offensive.
DJ, just real briefly, because we're running along. Do you think Obi has become more of a Tibbsian guy over the time he's been here?
Well, he's certainly, there are certain rotational issues, and there's a physicality thing that he's just not going to, there are limitations there. But yeah, he's a Tibbsian guy in the sense that his shot diet has become everything that Tom wants in terms of if he's not shooting a 3, if he's not getting to the basket, he's doing everything that the head coach wants. And I just think tonight, things were just solid with him on the floor. I never thought, Obi, another missed rotation. I never thought any of that. And, it's clearly don't win without him. And just a moment where, a guy that needed to give them 20 minutes of solid play. And for him to do that is just a credit to how he stays ready and all the things that, we know it's been hard for him over these, past several seasons, but, it's been a wonderful thing to see him play in a game in a playoffs in an absolute cauldron of an environment where the game was tight and be a solid contributing player. I mean, hats off.
And not that I don't love his breakaway dunks, but to see him do it in the way that you're describing, where it's breakaway dunks are winning plays in their own way, but what you're talking about is a different brand of winning plays.
Yeah. And
for him to have gotten himself to a part in his career, he's going to be a really good NBA player for a long time. We'll see what the ceiling is. We'll see where it is. It was great to see this one. Now, the only other honorable mention I have was Brunson had a step back 3 to make it 84-77.
I have it written down.
Earlier in the fourth quarter. That's all I got.
It's funny. The bigger 3 for me was the one to end the third quarter, because then they survived the onslaught from Cleveland in that third quarter with the lead.
So big. Yes.
And then he made the first basket starting the fourth quarter. Then you have a 4-point lead, and it just sort of it felt things had calmed down just a little bit to the point where they took the right hook, and they still had a lead, which felt big in that moment.
Well, to your point, DJ, I had written down they got to the 4-point lead and the same thing. There's 2 Levert offensive rebounds, one which led to an and one, the other which just led to a putback. That I was like, all right, we're weathering the storm, but they're getting back in it.
Dude, I wrote those down. I'm like, oh my God, if they lose this game, we're gonna be looking back at those.
Those are the moments. Yeah. Which is why I have to highlight that RJ getting to Mobley's chest and getting that foul, because once Mobley left the game, they outscored him the rest by 9 points. So
all right. DJ, you've given us a podcast's worth of time.
Yes.
Thank you, man. Anything else before we get you out of here?
Listen, they're a game away from going to the second round of the playoffs. Holy shit.
Yes.
They're 1 win away from going to the second round of the playoffs. For where this team was a year ago, for where they are now, it's just amazing. And they eliminated those big guard to big screens in the fourth quarter, which opened things up guard to guard. So good adjustment there, but just a phenomenal game to watch in a fourth quarter that was tight. They were up for the challenge, and shout out MSG. They were great for 2 games.
Last thing before we let you go, if you're watching this, you're on YouTube, which means some of you, because I know we have more than 259 people watching this right now. Some of you are not subscribed to DJ Zulo's YouTube channel.
Yes.
Please, whatever you do, take a moment, stop, go to @CraftNBA. DJ's great on these things. He's even better somehow at putting together videos, analyzing the sport in this league. You're going to get a lot of Knicks stuff on there, but you're also going to get some non-Knicks stuff. If you watch what DJ Zulo puts out there, you will be a smarter basketball fan, and you will enjoy what he puts out there. One more time, @CraftNBA. That's the YouTube. Please go subscribe to that, because it's just phenomenal stuff. So
thank you. And thank you so much for the opportunity to do this. This just is a dream. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of however long they keep you here.
We'll be here in a minute.
All right.
Enjoy, fellas.
Thanks, DJ. And then last but not least, Andrew, DJ, thank you, sir. I want to give a shout out to my friends at One Bev. They kept me hydrated today with the expressionist Shiraz. Wine of the game. presented to you by me, who's drinking it. That's all.
Hell yeah. Hopefully this doesn't end with you with wine and you reading rap lyrics later on. But we'll see how much.
Somebody says should suggest the rap song of the game.
No. That veto. Let's talk shit about Cleveland instead.
Maybe some classic Too Short.
I'd be down with that actually. I love Too Short. Anyway.
I didn't know if you knew who Too Short was.
Yeah. Wow. I'm not that much younger than you. Come on.
Does Pastor Claudio know about your
affection? He's watching. Be quiet. As far as he knows, it's like DC Talk and Cross Movement and other Christian bands that you don't know about.
All right, let's do it.
So we have once again the recurring segment.
We're gonna get through, Robert. We're getting through these quick, man. We have to.
There's other people that have joined in on the bit, is what I'll say.
Oh my god. Okay.
So this is at 11:23 a.m. So 90 minutes before game time.
Okay. We're gonna cut through these quick because I know we got a lot of actual substantive comments.
Oh man.
Apologies, Robert. We love you. It's your boy John. It's a glorious day. Our Knicks take the floor against the Cavs in just a few hours. Hashtag can't wait. Hashtag 53 wins. Well, you're 3 away, my man. Robert Cross. First time, long time, John. Looks like Quentin Grimes is not going to go. Will it be IQ or Hart in the starting lineup? I hope it is IQ. Quick moment of analysis here. I didn't think there was any real decision to make. Josh Hart's defense on Donovan Mitchell is essential to this series. And yeah, easy call for Tibbs. And also credit to the Knicks for I mean, we didn't really touch on it in the intro, but they managed to look like a pretty good NBA offense for most of this game when their starting lineup had no shooters that the Cavs are really gonna who are you fearing, as a Cavs defense from behind the arc in that starting lineup. So credit to them for getting them ready to still play winning basketball. It's your boy John. I better see Deuce McBride in the Garden floor today. Now that man got that dog in him. Woof woof. Hashtag 53 wins. I thought Tibbs's use of McBride today was very good. 5 minutes, important minutes, vital minutes. And they were good minutes. Yeah. Another one from Robert Cross. How do you feel about RJ being the most impactful player on the court right now? Seems to get to the hoop at will. It's been 40 minutes since we've talked about him. I kind of want to talk. RJ.
Okay.
We're going to talk about a lot more. So what I will just say now is him and Brunson, they now through 2 games have made a 1-2 punch that have won consecutive. What happened?
Fred's last tweet. Randle left without talking to the media today.
I mean, are you surprised?
It's a bad look. I wonder if
that was my question. That wasn't my question. Are you surprised?
It's not. I'm not.
Yeah. Whatever. RJ and Jalen 1-2 punch that has won consecutive playoff games. Again, just say it out loud. Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, 1-2 punch, won the consecutive playoff games. That's against a team with the second best net rating in the sport. We'll talk more about Julius as the comments come in. Robert Cross,
don't worry.
Robert Cross, it's your boy John. Deuce bang. Hashtag 53 wins. Did we get a Breen bang? Because it was loud in my apartment. We did.
Yes, we did.
Good. Thank God. It's your boy John. How is RJ doing getting to the rim thus far? I think you asked that question, Robert. Thanks. I'll hang up and listen. Hashtag 53 wins. It's a credit to RJ, and it's a credit to Jalen Brunson. That's why I was so happy that we have DJ on here, because I wanted to finish up on RJ, and he had to redirect it to Brunson, or talk about them in tandem, because it is Brunson's gravity, and that is why this year from RJ has been so frustrating for me, because you have 2 players on your roster who are performing at an all-star level. And in theory, the third guy, if the third guy is really good, should be able to eat off of what guy number 1 and guy number 2 are doing. And that was my biggest complaint this year, that we didn't see enough of from RJ. Today, he was guy number 2, and he performed like guy number 1 because of what guy number 1 was doing to allow him to eat. So it was perfect synergy. Absolutely perfect synergy.
So the next portion of the program, Josh So Focus has entered into the bit of Super Chats before the game is ended.
Okay. I bet I know where these are going to
Yeah.
I'll be the one to join Robert. This Cavs team is unserious. Let's talk about RJ John. Let's talk about RJ GMAC. Matching salary? I think not. Let's fucking go.
It just cannot be said enough. Like, look, I understand like the crow we're eating, the egg on faces, like the data was there. Like, we weren't.
That's why they play the game, Andrew.
But I know what's where I'm getting to. Don't worry. Like, this is what RJ had to overcome, and it's why, like, I'm trying to put into context, like, they do have to win this series, they do have to finish the job, but the legacy building, like, we got 2 RJ Barrett playoff games to go back to anytime you have doubts with him through his struggles. Again, it's like, no, but remember games 3 and 4 in the Garden? Like, he showed up for that, and that's what's now different now. You know, like, they do need to close out the series, and they do have to finish the job, but from now on, we have that. And it's funny, it's the inverse with the other guy, you know?
So, like, you know, you could think back to Norm Powell yesterday. Norm Powell had, was it yesterday or was it game 3? I actually forget. Norm Powell had a really good game for the Los Angeles Clippers. Norm Powell is a $20 million a year player in the NBA. He's a very good NBA player. He'll never be an all-star. He had a really big game. So, like, the notion that a player can have now it was not as good as RJ's, because RJ, in addition to the scoring, there was the passing, which I think in game 3, the passing was actually better than the scoring. I think today it was probably the scoring that was better than the passing, but that is not a knock on the passing. It was just a compliment to how good the scoring was. He was also exemplary with passing today, and you throw in the defense. So, like, again, I'm going to go back to Norm Powell. That's a $20 million a year player. He did it once. And that's what he's expected to do in a 7-game series. Give me 1 Norm Powell game, right? And over the course of the season, he averages 15 or 16 or 17 points a game. RJ, $26 million a year. Been knocked for that amount of money that he's gotten paid. 2 consecutive playoff games. More well-rounded than a Norm Powell. All of a sudden, you look at this, and, like, it's not too far to go to say, like, oh, yeah, these 2 games justify his contract. When you say it out loud, it might sound a little ridiculous, but when you think about what matters in the NBA, it's not. It's just not.
Yeah.
So,
Narratives have shifted now. Like, the thing we were saying leading up to this series was based off of what the 82-game sample that we saw. He's not that player. Yeah. He's not playing like that player the last 2 games, which, credit to him. You know, all the adjustments that you've heard that he's made in the reporting, hats off to him, man. He's killed it.
Let's keep going, because I have another point that I'll make.
I was going to say there are many more super chats.
Yeah. Ja with another one. What's up, John? Just wondering what your respect level for this Cavs team is right now. As a smart man once said, I'll hang up and listen. Hashtag 53 wins. So my respect level is still high.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we're seeing is a testament to, which I think is the point you're trying to make, Ja, why the Knicks are a really good basketball team. The Knicks are one of the 5 best basketball teams in the league this year. That's why the series is going the way it's going. Not because the Cavs are like the Cavs. Like, okay, I hate to do this, but, like, this isn't the Knicks 2 years ago. That's not what's happening here. This is a team that is better than the Hawks 2 years ago, taking it to the Cavs.
Are we sure it's not the Knicks 2 years ago?
I don't think
the way Mobley struggled in this series, the way Allen has crawled into his shell, the way Mitchell and Garland have shot outside of Garland in the second half today.
Atlanta's defense 2 years ago had a game plan. They did not have special defensive performances. They had a game plan that the Knicks didn't have the skill level with their personnel to overcome once you took Julius and you rendered him what they rendered Julius. This is the Knicks. This is more than a game plan. This is execution and the skill level of guys like Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart and RJ Barrett on defense. Like, across the board, to say nothing of what they're doing on the other end of the court against the best defense in the league. I'm sorry. It's different than that, Andrew.
It's different. You're right. And it's not a one-to-one comp in game plan wise and the X's and O's. I think one thing that was just not factored in the calculation, myself included, is outside of Donovan Mitchell, how never been in this moment this Cavs team has been.
Hold on.
What?
Darius Garland
never played a playoff game.
And he had his game 2, and he had a pretty damn good game 1, which is Julius has had 1 good half in this series. Darius Garland has had 3 good halves in the series. So let's be not so quick.
Road game, John. That's my point. They've never played a road game in the playoffs before. That's my point. I'm
not burying them just yet. I mean, DJ Zula was damn correct to bury Jared Allen in comparison to Mitchell Robinson. Jared Allen was still 7 of 11 for the game, and had himself, like, he did some things that he's able to do because he's a skilled center that had, like, he did some. I'm just not burying this team as much as you, and I'm not. Look, I can't do it yet.
I'm not burying. You're right. Job not finished. You still got to either win 1 game in Cleveland. You got to have one of the next 3, and I like the Knicks' chances.
So do I.
I will say the shook moments that have come out of Cleveland over the last 2 games have reminded me that they have not been here before, which is the only point I'm trying to make. They have not played road playoff games.
And I wonder, is that not a reflection of their lack of depth more than a reflection of their top-end talent? Because if you compare the top-end talent of the Knicks versus the Cavs, you could say the Knicks' top-end talent has been better, absolutely. But I think it has been the depth that has been as much of a difference in the series.
There's no question. The bigger thing that we got wrong about this series beforehand is that we said they couldn't win without Julius. Guess what they've done?
Yes,
they've taken a 3-1 lead without Julius Randle. Like, that's the biggest thing, is the Knicks have options this time around, as opposed to the Atlanta series where it's like live or die by whatever Julius Randle gives you. Right. But like the Cavs core 4, as the Chase Down calls it, they have not, outside of 1 game, played all that well. At the same time, at least. And these 2 games in New York, I'm sorry, this looks like a team that doesn't know how to win a road playoff game in a raucous environment yet. It may come. They may be able to add depth, so it's not all dependent on these guys. But what did I say was the key moment of the game? RJ getting Mobley in foul trouble. And then they went, then who stepped up? Nobody, because they couldn't.
And yet, listen, this is just stats. Garland, Allen, and Mobley together were 21 of 35 from the floor. That's not awful. It was Donovan who struggled today. Donovan had the bad game, and he's the one guy that it's tough to really critique because he's had, a better series. Anyway, look, we keep going round and round. You're not wrong. I wanted to.
We're both not wrong. I get the pushback. I think there is something to the fact that this is way much more like talking about the net rating and the regular season stats. They recreated the Jazz, is what the Cavs did. And we're seeing a Jazz-like performance in the postseason.
I hope we don't have to eat these words.
We worry about that Wednesday.
And hopefully it ends there. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. Who's the best player in the series again? Hint, it's not Donovan Mitchell. # 53 wins. There's a question about whether the Knicks have the 2 or even the 3 best players in the series so far. And I'm not being facetious. Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson have been that good. They have been that good.
Agreed.
With another one, Robert Cross, Mensa and I say Knicks at 5. What say you? # 53 wins.
Are you still at, I'll sign up for a game 7?
God, why'd you do that to me?
Because I know how you think.
You do. You know me too well.
I do. I know that you're just like, it's 3 to win 1. So I like my chances. Step on their throat. Close this thing out in Cleveland. Another big road win, a testament to this team.
No, I think if I were going to make a call right now, man, I have so much PTSD. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been in therapy for years for this.
I have it too. I just mask it with
No, you don't.
Post-game
Not
confidence.
you.
No,
Don't.
I don't have your.
You
I don't have your PTSD. I don't see Reggie Miller getting.
You don't see him in
8
your
points
dreams.
15 seconds on my birthday. You're right.
What? How many seconds? 8.9 seconds.
Whatever it was. The clock when it started had. Oh no, you're right. 8.9. Total.
Speaking of birthday, yeah, exactly. It was my birthday party.
You're right. That's why I said your birthday.
Fuck you, Reggie. Fuck you. Sorry. We needed a fuck you, Reggie, somewhere in the post game, right?
It's mandatory.
Okay. Knicks in 6. How about that? Get it done in 6 games. How about that? Okay. Robert Cross, another one. It's your boy John. How's RJ doing so far? Curious for your analysis.
Robert, go listen to the beginning of the pod and you'll know. There you go.
There you go. Here we go. First time, one time, John. Mitchell Robinson has dominated this game, flat out dominant. # 53 wins. That's not a question, Robert. I agree. Mitchell Robinson's been awesome. Jasso focused. Let's talk about RJ. His decision making in this game has been more important than anything Julius Randle has provided since game 1. This is going to a game 7 ? Well, I just answered that. As far as I do want to take a moment. Julius Randle's decision making. Speaking of the Atlanta series.
In the first half, I actually thought he was like his decision making was fine. It was one bad step back that I was.
Yeah, I was good. That was the only one, and I know the one you're talking about. I watched the guy who was seeing ghosts 2 years ago. I don't think we're at that point yet. I think we're seeing a guy who's not able to perform, and it is a physical issue. It seems like. Now the tough part with Julius is where does the physical. What does that Venn diagram look like with the physical and the mental and the emotional, right? And that's why everybody who has kind of secretly or not so secretly harbored curiosities about whether the Knicks are all in on Julius Randle moving forward, this is why. Because you have to ask that question. Other players, it's like, oh, they're hurt. They'll get better. We have to sit here and we have to try to parse apart, like, okay, he's hurt, but like, can he still figure out a way to not kill his team? Like, it's tough. It's just tough. I don't know. But he's been bad. That's all I'll say. He's been bad.
Next two are a combo.
Okay. Andrew, can Randle ever play within an offense?
And
Jasso focused. What's up, John? I want to remind you of the question I asked before the series. Obi having a good series and Randle sticking it up. Thoughts? So I will throw it back to my questions that I have raised throughout the year about the longevity of RJ Barrett on this roster, because in the NBA, you don't need more than 2 ball dominant guys on the court at any one time. And in terms of the guys you build your team around, you build it around 2 guys. And as I've said many times, someone's got to be Chris Bosh, right? And I didn't think RJ Barrett was very well suited to be Chris Bosh. Now, the funny thing is, the version we're seeing of RJ Barrett in this series, he could be your number 2. He could be your number 3. If he shoots it, he needs to shoot it. But he's been defending, certainly, at the level. He could be anything you want him to be. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'll turn it back around with, like, let's just focus on the here and now. Let's just focus on the series. There is a very real, like, conversation to be had about whether just Obi's the better player to have out there. Because he knows how to be a cog, and he could be a cog very well. So, yeah.
Listen, if the RJ Barrett resurrection of these last 2 games has taught us anything, is that you don't quit on a player in their worst moments. Nope. Having said that,
no, don't do it. No,
I'm not quitting. Let me finish. I'm saying, having said that, what Julius Randle has been through the first 4 games is not the All-NBA player. He may be playing hurt. He may not be playing at 100%. It's whatever Tibbs has said. The third quarter today was the first, and honestly, most of the game too.
But it was the third quarter, really.
The third quarter today was when I noticed the most, like, oh, the bad defense is back. Like, they're bringing Allen up on the screen, or Mitch up on the screen, and then there's just no contest. It's a layup or a dunk from Mobley or Allen at the beginning of the third quarter. And it's so ironic that Mitchell had that breakaway, and Randle's best defensive moment of maybe his career was that.
Oh my God!
He pinned a block on a Mitchell layup.
I wrote play the game candidate for that one.
Right. I was like, oh wow. So of course Julius blocks that one, but the rotations that we need and the other defensive moments, it's where the Knicks having a deeper team and more options really stands out. And it's where you credit Tibbs for going to the other options. You credit Leon Rose for presenting the other options. Julius Randle figuring it out turns this Knicks team into a much different ceiling if RJ Barrett has also figured it out.
So. We're veering on we're veering on off-season conversations. Okay.
No, I'm talking about this season. This postseason,
I know.
Like, if they're doing all of this again, what did we get the most wrong? They can't win this series without Julius Randle. What have they done through 4 games outside of 1.5? Gotten a 3-1 lead without Julius Randle mostly.
Well, the reason why we were saying that is because idiots like me had no faith in RJ Barrett to deliver in the way he's delivered in the series. So that's on me. That's obviously not true.
Look, and that's the most important thing about RJ becoming this player is if he was playing like he did during the regular season, I hesitate to say that.
Well, that's we don't. You know what?
But that's my point. That's how impactful. Like to the question that Ja's trying to hint at and what Robert's trying to hint at. Like they've swapped places. Like Julius has been borderline unplayable, and RJ has been the impactful second best player on the offensive end of the floor for this team. And it's been sorely needed because of what Randle's been.
Amen to that. We're an hour 8 minutes into this. Have we started on the chats from after the game?
After the game? No, not yet. We're at 3 p.m. Eastern right now.
Very quickly. It's your boy, John. I think RJ Barrett could lead us to victory in the second half. What say you? I say I agree.
In
Thank
the
you, Robert.
second half. Okay, rapid fire.
Jesus Christ. Jasso focus. Let's talk about RJ. That would make 2 games that RJ is conceivably our best player. I mean, no shame in being number 2 to Jalen Brunson. It's close, though. Which player are you trading him for? I'll hang up and listen. Off-season conversation, Ja. Off-season conversation. We could DM me. And then Jasso focus. I don't trust him. Some smart Knicks fan.
Referring to Julius. Again, what is the lesson that RJ Barrett has taught us? We do not give up on players in their worst moments, no matter how bad they've looked.
It's just... It's so what? I mean, of course, this team. This is I'm staring at the freaking slam poster.
It's those
the 2 pillars of the organization.
They can't be good at the same time.
It's like
the paper plate just keeps shifting back and forth.
Why can't it be easy, Andrew? Why can't it
be easy? If Julius suddenly starts hitting these good looks, will say this is where I'll give you a point here, and
I don't get any points today.
Mobley has made Randle's life significantly more difficult.
I'll take a point for that. A point for that.
So, there's your impact of Evan Mobley. But when we got Jetty Osman guarding him in the late second and in the late third, and Randle still wasn't able to really do anything, it was like, oh, okay. I don't know how playable you are right now, Julius Randle, which is why credit to Tibbs for recognizing that.
By the way, Deuce McBride after the game, as he's saying the quote, I got to take every challenge. I'm not going to back down from anybody. He was asked about guarding Donovan Mitchell whilst wearing a badass leather jacket. You the real MVP.
Yes. Couple more.
Robert Cross, any reason whatsoever why Julius played the entire third quarter? Hashtag 53 wins. Yeah, because Tibbs knew he wasn't going to play the fourth. And then another one. Jalen Brunson from 3. Bang. Hashtag 53 wins. Giddy up.
Keep going.
It's your boy, John. Can you talk about RJ Barrett's impact in this game? I'll listen for a long time. Hashtag 53 wins.
Keep going. Keep going. Oh, good. What should we do?
First time. I'll keep going. First time, long time. It looks like this is RJ's game. What do you think? Hashtag 53 wins. I think we should put Robert in the Clockwork Orange theater with the eyes open, where it's nothing but Jeremy's cap or no caps about who we're going to be trading all of our players for this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun for Robert.
That'd be great.
Ja, reasons if this isn't a Knicks win: 1, missed free throws; 2, the third quarter turnovers; 3, Randle's lack of defensive effort, box outs, closeouts, etc.
Well, it was
wins. Yeah, it was. And then Robert, it's your boy John. Obi, hashtag 53 wins. I love your contributions, Robert. Thank you so much. Another one. This is all you. This is for all you in the community that don't know ball. RJ Barrett in caps with asterisks. Thank you, Robert.
Hashtag 53 wins. Yeah.
Hashtag 53 wins. And then John with another one. Hey, John, is it fair and reasonable to say Obi's been a better power forward and RJ's been a better? Well, RJ's easily been a better option than Julius Randle. Has Obi been a better power forward in this series?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give credit to Julius. Has not been atrocious defensively for the entire series.
Yeah.
I don't know if they win game 1 without his first half. That is, listen, sweep it under the rug if you want. His first half of game 1 was vital. He was my third star of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been wrong. Obi, by the way, was a consideration for that third star of the game. But I don't want to. Let's keep it a buck and at least recognize that, like, Julius Randle had an abysmal day today. Abysmal. Can't have a worse day. Has not been that for this entire series. That's all. Okay.
I agree. It's really that third quarter that stood out as the unplayable moments. Obi's been consistently good at his role, which is why what you needed him in the fourth quarter today was for him to be his role, and he did that.
And let's put it this way: if again he did not do this, but if Julius Randle came out after halftime and lit up the Garden in the third quarter and helped separate the Knicks from the Cavs today, no one would be saying boo about anything else he's done in the series. They'd be talking about, wow, came out of the gate strong, helped them win game 1. Now in the Garden, game 4, overcome an iffy first half for a big game. Like it turns on a trifle.
Couple more.
Adam, imagine Julius Randle finds his shot. Can we say contenders? Oh boy, if they win this series, I will have notions.
Especially,
I know. No, we're not.
Let's not get there. No, you're right. This one I'll go with you two. Just can't help but notice what's going on in the series. That
I am helping but notice.
Yes.
Robert Cross, give Mitch his flowers now. #53 wins. There was a Mitch quote after the game that I was on the. I'll go look for it. Maybe you could read the next one.
Needs to Jesse M. Need to have the honest convo about Julius, and we're having it. You don't give up on players at their lowest moments.
But you know what? We've had the honest conversation about Julius Randle 18 fucking times.
Yes. The honest conversation about Julius is that 2 years ago, if this was the exact same thing happening, we were fucked. What's happening right now is the Knicks' depth is showing that it doesn't all have to be him. And that honestly was my thought. He only had 5 shot attempts in the first half. And my thought was like, okay, they could kind of survive this if he's just a decoy and using his gravity and like just keep Mobley away from the rim. And then eventually these threes are going to fall, right? They haven't yet. You wonder how healthy he is. You don't make excuses because he's out there. And then good job on Tibbs going with a more effective option in the fourth quarter.
No, I can't make that comparison. That's too extreme. I was going to make a Russell Westbrook comparison here because no, I said it's too extreme.
You're right. I agree.
But Russell Westbrook is like an MVP level player who is not an MVP level player anymore, but can still do things that can single-handedly help you win ball games. And he was waived, and then the team that picked him up was pilloried for even taking him on the roster because of all of the detrimental things that he does. To an exponential degree, that is the larger Julius Randle conversation that I believe if, let's say, the Knicks, after the season is over, put him on the trade block and my wife, I love it. And let's say nobody bit with a big offer or only one team bit with a big offer. It's because the Julius conversation, this is the Julius conversation. This is it. And he is one of those players who at this point you have to look at the full I can't even say body of work. You have to look at the full everything and consider what you are getting and what you may not be getting if things are not going right. And it's just, it makes it really complicated, but I said it several months ago and I'll say it again. He's our guy and I'm riding with him and I'm not giving up on him.
There you go.
I'm not.
I agree. Busy breaking up the streak. We have 3 more before we get to post-game chats.
It's too late, John. FDNY is pulled up. They have inflated the inflatable. It's too late to jump out the window.
That means it's the perfect time to jump out the window. There's an inflatable waiting for you at the bottom to jump out the window.
I live on the floor busy. I just want you to know that.
2 more. And then
Robert Cross, it's your boy. First time, long time, John. It looks like Barrett is built for the city. Hashtag 53 wins. I had all the jokes lined. I'm just being honest. I had all the jokes lined up before Game 3.
And it was to RJ.
It's a defense mechanism because I just don't believe this team is ever going to do good. I've just been beaten down too many times. And I think part of the reason why I've been so down on RJ is because I think almost to me he represents like he has represented for me over 4 years why we can't have nice things. And I don't know if that's going to translate fully to I hope people know what I mean by that. And like again, going into Game 3 where it's like, okay, we need our guys to step up, and RJ is whatever he was, 6 for 20 something in the series, I forget. But like, and people are like, okay, we need a big RJ game. And I was preparing myself. Like, of course we're not going to get it because we never get it. We don't get it. And you know, you try to make light of it. I did not have the faith. I didn't have the faith.
Well,
that's all there is to it.
Then I saw his game. Now I'm a believer.
Yeah, but
shout out Smash Mouth.
Yeah, but credit to everybody who had the belief regardless.
Yeah. There's room for both.
They deserve the credit.
They do. And there's one more I want to come on to be on for, and then I'll jump down. But here's read Josso Focused.
Josso Focused, can you say poverty franchise? Hashtag 53 wins.
Yeah. Hi, Woj, by the way. And then last one, then I'll jump down.
It's a clean sweep. Jaden Sporer. Fred, did you just get that?
Oh, speaking of losers, what's up, little brother? While John's jumping out the window, you can catch him. Okay.
Listen, they're in a good spot. Spot.
Watching John do a post game from the off season.
From Cancun. Jaden Sporer, Fred Katz came on your pod and said, Dean effing Wade is better than RJ. Get the fuck out of here, respectfully. We need to do something special.
Fred's coming on the pod Tuesday.
Oh my God. Could we get Dean no, the Cavs will be. I was gonna say, could we maybe push off his pod and get Dean Wade to come on the pod with him?
He's got nothing else better to do. So
the Cavs PR might
cooperate.
They might cooperate with that.
We want to talk about Cavs PR. We would like to have your player on to talk about how much he's not better than RJ Barrett.
No, we'll just be like, hey, there's a Knicks beat reporter that said your player was better than RJ Barrett. Wouldn't you like to bask in that glow? Can we have him on our pod?
It's so Fred, I have the live chat up and I see Mr. Chats has joined.
Oh, is he in here?
Yes, and I'm gonna read it. It's gonna show up later on, but it's actually perfect for the moment. From Fred Katz, who would you say has been better in games 3 and 4, RJ or Dean Wade? Thank you, Fred, for acknowledging.
You can read Fred's amazing insight. They're always running a deal for $1 a month. I mean, you see why they're running the deal for $1 a month with that level of insight there. You know, I don't know about that.
All righty, we got a victory post game going on. Let's have some fun.
I'm already having fun. Thank you, everybody. This is awesome. I'm so lucky to be able to do this. Drew P. Star J is born. Doesn't feel pressure. He embodies the team. Always getting back up. Best home Nick. JB and Josh Hart are incredible. The centers were great. Yeah, 100%. It's funny. I made the comp over the All-Star break, I think, about Julius Randle actually, and how Julius Randle is perhaps the perfect player embodiment of for this fan base and specifically this city because of his resiliency. How can you not say the same thing about RJ Barrett in terms of resilience? Yeah. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. Exhibition continues. They just make plays. I want to cry. I'm so happy. They're a special team. They're such a special team because we're going to wake up And look, again, I don't want to speak out of turn because the series is not over yet, but thus far, can I say this? Thus far, through 82 games plus 4 games of the playoffs, the Knicks have played like one of the 5 best teams in the NBA. And there's no arguing that. They've played like one of the best 5 teams in the NBA over that specific time frame. We have more games to go. The other teams that are in that conversation, one of them is the Milwaukee Bucks, who have the best player in the sport, and another guy in Drew Holiday, who is might make All NBA, but is whatever. He's you know what Drew Holiday is, you know what Chris Middleton is, runner-up Defensive Player of the Year, Brook Lopez, like the accolades, so on and so forth. They NBA champions 2 years ago. Another team, the Philadelphia 76ers, have the literal MVP, along with another guy who, if he had played probably about 5 to 10 more games, would be an All-NBA player as well, also a former MVP. And they have some other good players too. Tyrese Maxey, hello. Boston Celtics, 4th place finisher, Jason Tatum for MVP. Jalen Brown, going to be All-NBA. All of the all-defense guys that they have, like best net rating in the sport. Okay. Denver Nuggets, 2-time reigning MVP. Roster around him isn't that bad. Their starting lineup, net rating gangbusters. And then the Knicks. The lowly fucking Knicks with their, how did they pay that much money for a guy who may not even be a starting point guard in Jalen Brunson, with a guy that we're killing today, but like fake all-star, right? Second most overrated player in the league according to Players Poll, Julius Randle. RJ Barrett, another guy who showed up on that same poll. Like left and right, you look and it's just disrespect. Josh Hart been traded 3 times now. Like so on and so forth, and continuing going. They just find ways to win. That is this team. That is who they are. That is their DNA. They don't know how to do anything differently. They're too naive to know that they should not be doing this. What a payback for most of the last 22 years to have this team to get the root for. And I'm just really thankful. Sorry. I was in the feelings there for a minute. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. Do you remember when I told you the Cavs were a soft team? I do. Hashtag 53 wins. Robert, I'm going to be buying you steak dinners for a long time at this rate. All the things that I've questioned you on. Another one from Robert. Do you remember the Donovan Mitchell trade talk? Yeah, me neither. Hashtag 53 wins. Listen, Donovan Mitchell did not have a great game. I would caution you, let's not bury Donovan Mitchell just yet. Donovan Mitchell's going back home to Cleveland. I really hope we can close the coffin on Wednesday. And I guarantee you that Tom Thibodeau will be emphasizing to his players, close the coffin. Thanks, Robert. Sam Garcia's dad. Say his name. Say his name. Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr. What a player. What a career he's had so far. Dan Hidalgo. So if Bing Bong's out, can I still say Knicks tape? Knicks tape is great. Knicks tape is fine. We love Knicks tape here. You know, I'm a product of I'm a product of the 80s, but I was brought up in the 90s. So yeah, I'm never gonna say boo about Knicks tape. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you, man. Hayden Freed. We were trading RJ Grimes and Obi for that guy. The Knicks won the Donovan Mitchell trade because we made the Josh Hart trade. Jalen Mitchell, because he's Donovan's daddy. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God.
Yes.
I want that.
Yes.
I want that as my ringtone. You saying yes, just like that.
Yes. Hell yeah.
The front office has had themselves pretty good last 12 months. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. The Knicks are one of the best teams in the NBA right now. We now hashtag 53 wins. I just said they've on balance through 86 games. They're one of the 5 best teams in the league. If you consider the whole thing. I mean, the Phoenix Suns get an asterisk, as do the Warriors, because they've been kind of fucking around all year. But, like, you get the gist. And by the way, if we're talking about those 2 teams, hold on real quick. If we're talking about those 2 teams, again, Golden State Warriors, 2-time MVP, 4-time champions. The fucking Warriors, Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, MVP, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, All NBA out the wazoo. It's like, these are the teams in conversation with the Knicks. These are the teams. They're the only teams that deserve to be in conversation with the Knicks. That's it. That's it. Andrew, I need you for 1 sec.
What's up?
Rich, you should read this because Rich McLeod is
Rich McLeod, let's go Mets. And his comment is, boys, we're back. Hell yeah, Rich. You're muted, John.
Sam Garcia's dad. RJ outplayed Donovan again. Sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. I just, hyperbole aside. Organizationally defining moment to stand your ground. I will forever remain skeptical about whether, if they had gotten one final call from Utah, being like, because the reporting suggests that they did not get that last call. If they had gotten one final call, would they have ponied up whatever it would have taken? I'll always wonder that. They stood their ground. They drew a line in the sand, and it was the correct decision. Like, man, talk about old taste exposed if Donovan comes back and leads them to victory. But I think I could stick with this one. It's a correct decision. They're in such a great place, and good job by them. Adam, Donovan, who is 11 points a lot? Let's freaking go Knicks. He had a bad game. There's no other way back. He had a bad game. He had a bad but the Knicks, he had a bad game, but I just want to add this real quick. The Knicks dared him to try to put the Cavs on his shoulders. They defended him to get the ball out of his hands and say, you'll beat us, you'll beat us, you'll beat us, you're not beating us. And if you're an NBA superstar, and I am still going to say it, I think Donovan Mitchell is an NBA superstar. Although that kind of bends my previous definition of superstar. Whatever. He's between a star and a superstar. I think he's close to superstar. To the temptation to try to take over is so great because I said it in a Substack chat before the game. I said this is the Donovan Mitchell game. He's going for 40 tonight. I said it. He only finished 29 points shy. I was so close with that prediction because again, this is that, and the Knicks knew that, and they used it against them. Credit to them. Will Oliver, what's going on, Will? Leaving the Garden, best crowd I've ever been a part of. Credit to Tibbs for sticking with Obi. I'm impressed. RJ Barrett, Crow is on the menu tonight. Emperor Crowan Barrett Jr. Jibo, 4 words, the RJ Barrett game. Again, I'm pushing back. Strong disagree, Jibo. If you're a believer in RJ, forget about it. This is not the RJ Barrett game. This is RJ Barrett. This is who he is. Clearly. It's just the beginning. Busy. Brunson almost single-handedly gave up the game in the third, being picked on. It was a part of that. Yeah, it was. Listen, I think Julius's defense was the bigger culprit. You're spot on saying Brunson was bad defensively, 100%. And it was a big part of that comeback. And the D on D and over dribbling on offense, I don't know that I can pinpoint too many Brunson initiated possessions that were too bad. If there were a few, if there's a guy that gets a pass, it's Jalen Brunson, because he does so much and he does so much right. And again, it's why I said at the beginning of the show, does he always make the right play? No. Are his intentions always in the right place? Yes. We went away from RJ, a mistake. Brunson redeems himself with a huge three to give us the lead. There were several plays in the fourth quarter that were big. So yeah. Thanks, Busy. Hannibal Miles, imagine if Julius's game picks up again with Julius and RJ. I like the positivity. I want to believe. I want to believe. We'll see. Manny Campos, RJ turning into playoff Jimmy at just the right time. Let's freaking go Knicks. Listen, he's not Jimmy because Jimmy is the initiator of the offense. RJ today he certainly initiated some. But he's also, again, we got to keep it a buck, right? The attention that Jalen Brunson gets and what that opens up for Jalen Brunson's teammates. RJ was he played off of that literally perfectly. You can't play off of it any better than he did. So, but that to me is so much more impressive for him at this point in his career than going out there and trying to be Jimmy Butler, because this is where he's at. When Jimmy Butler was 22, we've said this time and time again, Jimmy Butler, when he was 22, he wasn't in the freaking league yet. You know, like RJ was thrust into this spotlight so early and had so much responsibility so early and had these ups and downs on the roller coaster ride. So many smart people have said it. Development is not linear in the NBA. And this player is proof of that. Thank you, Manny. Deadwords 604. Thank you for the generous contribution. Just one more win, and we are onwards and upwards. The team is so fun to watch. And shout out to Deuce for his great defense and limited minutes, and Obi going full Giannis late on that drive. I love that. That drive was like low-key, like my favorite play of the game. It was not like the moment of the game, but it was maybe my favorite play of the game. But Randle needs to figure it out. He's key to go far. Yeah, I mean, regardless of, DJ kind of alluded to it in the opening monologue. Do they need Julius to win another game in this series? I don't know. They might. Jason M. See, John, you got to have more faith in this team. I do, but I blame the past. I blame the ghosts. I blame Reggie Miller. I blame Michael Jordan. I blame Roy Hibbert. I blame, who else can I blame? I blame the fire extinguisher case in the corridors of Madison Square Garden. I could blame up and down. I blame Isaiah Thomas. I blame Kurt Rambis. A lot of blame to go around. I blame David Stern. Never forget. Hashtag never forget 1997. I know Andrew. Andrew, that's Andrew's favorite hashtag. Yeah, a lot of. I'm again. This is the therapist couch, right? I'm deferring blame. Anthony Sixto, let's go. Hashtag ride with RJ. That's a good hashtag. I like that hashtag. Thanks, Anthony. David Crockett. I love David Crockett super chats because you know they're going to be good. Any questions about Obi playing big minutes in the playoffs? Answered. He got grown folks sports today. I've never seen folks spelled like that, David. I love it. Obi with a workmanlike 20 minutes. Yeah, for sure. All right. Next up, Steven Cordero. I know where this is going because I know who he supports, and I know who he's been very critical of me for being harsh with. But alas, never give up on young talent and Hart, but you gave up on RJ as soon as he got here. Surprising, since as a parent and a teacher, you know never to give up on kids. Well, I don't analyze basketball the way I teach and parent. That's just me. I kind of separate those two things out. I did not give up on RJ as soon as he got here, though. I waited for him to play, and I did certainly have suspicions early, for sure. Definitely had suspicions early. I will cop to that. Hush Zoo. There was this guy, Hush Zoo, game one, who gave in a chat saying RJ should be limited to 25 minutes. What a fan that is, huh? Knows nothing about basketball. Be kind to yourself, Hush. Be kind. Luyan Chow. What's going on, Luyan? Wow, what a win. Just such a gritty team effort. How about that second unit with Brunson? I loved... Again, we got to give praise to the guy that I always, try to defend from the slings and arrows, which is Tom Thibodeau. I thought his decision-making throughout the game to bring Brunson in and to close with the unit he closed with, which was obviously Brunson, RJ as the starters, and then Hart and Obi, and then to even when he switched from Hartenstein to Mitch, I thought that was good. I thought it was the right time. It was funny because it was like Hartenstein had been playing so well, and then like right around the moment where you're like, oh, is he starting to tire? I don't know. He brings back Mitch, and Mitch closed this out. It was just it was a masterclass, and second unit with Brunson was fantastic. Jocelyn focused. Last one. Looking forward to Randle redemption game. I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. I'm not giving up on the man. I'm not giving up on him. I refuse to. Of all the things I'm happy for today, and here's Hushu. I need Randle masterclass game 5, please, Lord. Of all the things that I think it's incoming. I think we're going to get a big game. I think we're going to get a big Randle game at some point. I'll just say that. Thanks, Hush. Busy. The man I criticized the most on the team deserves his own super chat. Good job by Tibbs. Got sticking with Obi over his golden boy. Yeah, I mean, that's why we said at the beginning. Tibbs and Randle forever linked at the hip. And we'll see how the rest of the series goes. Brian Benjamin, do we trade Julius? I missed the game.
So I think what he means is, did we trade Julius? Like,
did we trade Julius?
Did we trade Julius? Because what happened?
Yeah.
Disappearing act, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not much more to say other than that. Not RJ team. RJ, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Was this the guy who was like, I'm changing my his thing?
At the buzzer. You fumbled at the one, RJ team. I hate to say it. You're the Titans in the 99 Super Bowl. I hate to say it, man. It was right. Short. You're 1 yard short. If you had RJ team for game 3 and 4.
Man.
Thank you for the contribution.
Don't change it back now.
No, now you can't be RJ team. Now you're not RJ team forever. Because now he's an all NBA. This version of RJ could potentially be. It might just be the second best player on a team that wins a playoff series. So,
man, things I didn't think I'd be saying. Fuddy, my main man. Shout out to California. Best bang of my lifetime. How you doing? When JB hit that 3 from the top of the key. This includes sex. What a vibe shift when IQ and iHeart checked in the late in the third quarter. JB for president, RJ for mayor. Let's go Knicks. I'm so happy you said that. I want to go look it up. I'm going to ask actually Andrew to read the next super chat while I get the exact moment, because the vibes were so like. I'm taking a step back. How have I gone on talking for an hour and 40 minutes and not said this? I can't believe we won this game.
That third quarter, I was bracing myself for
again.
How do I find the moment?
Yeah. We've all watched these games. We know how these games end. The Knicks don't win this game. Come on.
No,
they don't win this game.
They overcame it.
That's overcame it.
It's also like this season, it felt like the third quarter of doom, like that's happened so much and they overcame it.
So Hartenstein checked in at 3:32 left in the quarter for Mitchell Robinson. The game was 60. It was actually in between free throws from RJ. So before the free throws, it was 69-66. RJ made 2 free throws. So they were losing by 3 when he checked in the game. And then when Emmanuel quickly checked in the game, Isaac Okoro had just beat, I'm pretty sure, Julius Randle on the baseline for to make it 71-70 Cavs. So the team was losing at that point. And when quickly checked in, it was 71-70. From that point, over the course of the rest of the game, it was 31-23, and the Knicks won.
So I'm looking at the game log as well. So the Cavs' first lead of the game came at 63-61 with 6:27 left. Forced the Knicks timeout, their second of the third quarter.
Yep.
What followed, and this actually for me is and I'm curious when I go listen to the chase down how much they're gonna harp on this. Evan Mobley at this point in the game had 1 foul. What then followed right out of the timeout was a Julius Randle and 1, which was a foul on Evan Mobley. Almost a minute later, Randle once again gets a shooting foul on Evan Mobley, gets to the line, goes 1 of 2. Later in the quarter, RJ Barrett gets a shooting foul on Evan Mobley. He's got 3 fouls in a span of 3 minutes and was a non-factor the rest of the game. I'm wondering if that's the real shift as to why the first half of the third quarter was different from the final 18 minutes of the game. It's like the Knicks, the game planned it. They were like, we're going to go at Evan Mobley. We're going to see if the refs make a call. If we get a call, great. Now, the calls kind of went both ways. The Knicks were in foul trouble, too. Both teams were in the penalty for most of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But once you took Evan Mobley off the chessboard, it was like, okay, now the rim is opening up a little bit and you can attack, which is why I think RJ was also able to be more aggressive,
I mean, there was a stretch in the middle of this game where the Knicks just didn't score. I mean, they opened this game with 30 points in the first quarter and they closed the game with 29 points in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't really do it justice because the score was 46-31. The Knicks were up 46-31 over Cleveland after Brunson hit a step back 3 with 5:17 left in the second quarter. And then from that point, they had 46 points at that point. And then from that point, it took them, it took them more than another quarter to get another 20 points. Like it was a slog.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, Fuddy. You're the man, dude. Matt, down under. This was worth getting up at 3 a.m. for. God bless you. And God bless all the overseas Knicks fans. I think my boy David shouted Daniel John over in Germany out, or Germany, Austria, Knicks Nation. Shout out to them. But shout out all the Knicks fans all over the world to get up at all these crazy hours. So shout out to all of you. What a win. You can't make up the heart this team has. HART. Shout out Tibbs for playing Obi the entire fourth. It was great. Man. Tibbs getting shout outs left and right. Jay Wright. There's not that Jay Wright. There's been a general consensus from Knicks content creators that we're lucky to be here. We are better than them, period. Time to act like it. I think you're listening to me too much. Although I don't know that I've ever said we're lucky to be here. I think I've been pretty consistent that there have been about 8 really good teams in the NBA this year. The Knicks are one of them. 5 of those 8, in my estimation, heading into the playoffs, happen to be in the Eastern Conference, and we happen to be facing another one of those teams who I did think was more talented than us. I also thought we could beat this team. But lucky to be here. That's going a little bit too far, but I actually think other content creators have been way more hopeful about the Knicks' chances in the series than me, and maybe like DJ and XJ and Benji have been a little down. But no, I don't want you to loop anybody else in with me. I take the L for that. Well, acknowledging we still have to win one more game. Hush Zoo, I need to give Tibbs immense flowers outside of Garland's third quarter. His defensive scheme has been nothing but a beauty all series to watch. I mean, Garland's third quarter, the defense was bad. Brunson's point of attack defense was bad. Julius Randle's help defense was bad. The rotations generally were not on point. I mean, it was, I don't know. Was it you could argue that other than, I would say the second half of the second quarter of game 2, maybe, no, that's really it. That was when that game really got away from them. So there were like 2 6-minute stretches in this series that were bad defensively. The second half of the second quarter in game 2 and the first half of the third quarter tonight in game 4. So if you break the series into 32 equal parts, right? Because 4 quarters times 4 games is 16, times 2 is 32. Out of those 32 equal parts, they have been substandard defensively for 2 of the 32. That's a pretty good coaching performance. Just performance, period. Whoever you want to give credit to. Ryan Huang, what's going on, Ryan? Live from the Garden. Let's go. Special shout out to Hart, Brunson, Obi, Deuce, iHeart, Mitch. But there's one thing we all forgot pre-series. The moment is never too big for Broadway. Barrett, let's freaking go. Hashtag Knicks in 5. He's proven it. Built for this? You got that right. Keith, so many guys I could talk about. It's one of those games, man. Sit here and talk for half an hour about anybody. But I'll let everybody else talk about the others. I'm so proud of RJ. Way to show he truly is built for it. Again, there's one super chat reads my mind every time. Series ain't over yet, but we're almost there. Let's freaking go. Shouts to KFS. We're almost there. Almost there. I could taste it. We could all taste it. Got to win another game, and they're not going to go down without a fight. It might not matter. We said the same thing about our Knicks. I remember doing the oh my God, do I remember the game 4 post game 2 years ago. I was like, we're not going to go down without a fight. And like game 5, we didn't go down without a fight, but we were still losing by 18 in the fourth quarter. Like sometimes another team just has your number. The Hawks had our number. And in this series, I hope we have the Cavs number. Seems like we do. Greg Moran, my goodness, Greg. Thank you for the generous contribution, and thank you for your patience, as I imagine you probably made this a while ago. I hope you're still here with us. My God, it's a beaut, Clark. The JB3 to Cheddar Assman airball was chef's kiss. Andrew, he just called Chetty Osman Cheddar Assman.
This is the most New York disrespect I've ever read in a super chat. Jetty Osman is now Cheddar Assman. That is amazing.
The Assman.
There you go.
1 in a million, Doc. 1 in a million. This super chat is 1 in a million, Greg. Super chat of the game. God bless you, man. Terrific team win with so many contributors. Cheddar Assman. Seriously, I could run up until 5 in the morning. I wouldn't have thought of that. Thanks, KFS, for making it all so much better. Work days, life, everything. You guys and this team are awesome. Let's freaking go Knicks. Let's freaking go KFS. We are just really lucky to be able to. I'm lucky to be able to spout my nonsense in front of an audience. So thank you. Chris D. Call that man Star J. Barrett. I did in today's newsletter. I had to do a second newsletter today because RJ was so good. Or yesterday, whatever it was. Sam L. Tibbs yanking Randle in the fourth and holding him accountable was everything that has been missing from Knicks culture the past 3 years. It couldn't have come at a better time. Also, wow, RJ. Thank you, KFS. I'm going to push back, Sam. I don't think that was an accountability thing. I think that was a Tom Thibodeau. This is the playoffs. I'm not messing around. I'm going with what it takes to win the game. And Obi Toppin. And that's why I really like talk about Brunson, talk about RJ, talk about Mitch, talk about Josh Hart, talk about all these guys. For Obi Toppin to have put himself in a position through hard freaking work that after 3 very up and down years, much of which has not been his fault, for him to have put himself in a position where Tom Thibodeau said, I trust you. Because keep in mind, folks, he didn't need to go with Obi. They've done the Josh Hart at the 4 thing before. They've done the RJ thing at the 4 thing before. Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Jalen Brunson, and then a center. That could have been your closing lineup. Absolutely could have been. Tibbs said no. I'm going with Obi. You want to tell me that's because of the Cavs size? Okay, that's fine. I call bullshit. I call bullshit because we know what Tom Thibodeau values, and we know what Tom Thibodeau will not live with. It doesn't matter what size you are. If he did not trust Obi Toppin to do the things necessary to win this game, he would have not gone with him. Matchup irregardless. So really, really, really extra credit to Obi Toppin for getting himself in a position to be in this game, to close out this game. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. RJ has poise. RJ has belief. RJ is relentless. Love you, man. Hashtag 53 win. Do you love me or do you love RJ?
Yes.
That's the correct answer. Hushzu, 3-1 Knicks on house money. 2023 Knicks, what a magical season it's been. I'm literally speechless. What has been going on? Give Josh Hart all the monies. Well, they're gonna. There's gonna be a few players getting some monies this summer. Josh Hart is one of them. Josh Hart is not going anywhere. Spoiler alert. He's back for moving forward. He's not going anywhere. So yeah. I don't know, 17, 18, 19 million a year. Whereabouts. Daniel Constant, only right. He plays well at home. Hashtag Broadway Barrett. I don't ever think of RJ as a home only player. I guess maybe the numbers bear that out. I honestly I don't know them offhand. It wouldn't shock me, but like I think RJ could go down, go over to Cleveland and have a good game. For sure. I think he's capable of it. Dale, what's going on, Dale? I was wondering why Tibbs wouldn't put in Obi the entire third quarter. I think it was because he knew he might have to play in the entire fourth. Dale, you took the words right out of my mouth. I completely agree. I think he was looking to just get through the third with Obi. Survive till the end of the third quarter, and then he knew he had a pivot in his back pocket. Thanks for the contribution, Dale. Appreciate it. Robert Cross with another one. Robert. I have to say it. Thank you for your generosity, man. We don't say it enough. Thank you. I'm saying this now. Brunson, then RJ, then Randle, and you have a title contender right now. Hashtag 53 wins. Robert, I know you don't want to talk off season, but it gets us back to the conversation that you hate to have, which is order like players in roles. I don't believe Julius Randle will ever be perfectly suited to be a number 3 on a title team. I hope to be proven wrong. You know, No, this series has impacted my opinion as to what the Knicks might do in the offseason. My gut feeling is that this team, while I think the front office is very happy with the bones of the team, I think they will consider different things. That's all. That's all I'll say. Thanks, Robert. Richard, what's going on? Richard Born-Vanek, one of our esteemed patrons. He has been, I think, a Ewing tier patron, actually, since Jump Street. Always appreciate his contributions and thoughtful thoughts. Mark Sable, is it fair and reasonable to say that RJ has not only redeemed himself this season, but the season of all former Duke Knicks like Cam and Chris Duhon? Shocked I am that the Knicks won this game without Cam Reddish. That's all.
Not to stir the pot. Still not more disrespectful than calling Jetty Osman cheddar ass man. I'm still laughing at that. That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
It's the
cheddar ass man.
Yeah, cheddar ass man.
No other fan base like this one. I swear.
No. Zach, what's going on, Zach? What a game. I'm a mess. Me and you both. Got my We Back shirt on just in time. I went with the where is it? Here we go. Him. I went with the him shirt. But the We Back's a good choice too. The wife and kid got almost as crazy as I in the fourth quarter. Kid went and put on his Knicks shirt. What a morning. So proud of RJ and coach leaving Obi in. God bless KFS. Thank you so much, Zach. Appreciate you. Again, another one. You go back a long way with me. I appreciate your support from day one. As far as the fandom for today, we had like a couple other couples from the building over and their kids for this game, and like they got to experience the full Macri, as it were. And I think I composed myself pretty well, although there was a moment where I lifted my shirt up like over my mouth because I had to scream very loudly, and I think I exposed my flabby belly, which I don't know if my guests appreciated that. I hope they come back at some point. That's all I have to say about that. W Camp 172. What a game by Mitch, but his best ever by far. I don't know about by far, but I think it was the best game of his career considering the stakes for sure. And RJ, JB, and Hart gave their normal beauty. Truly unbelievable stuff. Favorite team since 99. Let's freaking go Knicks. So it's funny. I want Andrew up here for a second. Well, while I ask my wife a quick question. You have been a vehement defender of the honor, capital H, honor of the great 2012-2013 New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at this point? Do you got to see one more win? Or
This is where we do need to officially switch roles for a second, John, because I always said during the season, like, we're reacting to win number 35, win number 22, win number 40. Like, we're reacting before they've ever played a playoff game. Like, there's a very, from all our projections, realistic scenario that this team loses in the first round. And now, if they are able to upset the Cavaliers and then win a couple playoff games against the Bucks, or dare I say,
stop it!
Dare I say, host a series against another team in the second round. That's the craziest part. The Knicks hosting a playoff series against a team in South Beach in an adorably cute matchup. Needless to say, John, I always said you needed to see the whole picture before you put 2013 above this one. What is so different that I've always acknowledged is that felt like you needed to win then. Like, the desperation to win then mattered. And this team the beginning seems to be what we're seeing right now. This is the beginning of multiple bites at the apple, and that's the coolest part about it. Is that if it doesn't eclipse 2013 this year, if they blow a 3-1 lead, knock on all the wood in the area. If that happens,
it's not the end of the world.
It's year one of a run that we're making with this team, and it's exciting.
I'll say this: I feel comfortable. I haven't yet said the Knicks are going to Eastern Conference semifinals, because I will not say that until they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: if the Knicks somehow don't make the Eastern Conference semifinals, someone's going to pry it from their cold dead hands. Like, they will have to be beaten.
Yeah,
I
agree.
This team ain't giving it away.
Cosign.
Sean with a W. Shout out to the Casuals. Shout out to Study Hall. Shout out to Sean. Sean's the best. They sent Scott Foster to do Scott Foster things, and we won the plastic game. Anyways, we move on. P.S. Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr. I didn't love the whistle today. I thought there were some egregious, capital E, egregious whistles. Not as bad as it probably could have been, but wasn't good. Thank you for pointing that out, Sean, because I saw your tweet before the game, and I completely agree with it. Anthony Sixto. Randle was fantastic game one with the new approach to his rotation, and they got away from it. Really hoping we take a second look at that. Don't ask what just happened.
Everybody okay?
Yes, everybody's okay.
All I heard was a crash and then ow. And it was like, oh
no,
weird.
Everybody's fine.
Okay.
Someone just fell off a wall. It happens. Yeah, I don't know.
The
It's
Julius
weird
half
because...
of the poster? Is that what fell?
What?
Is it the Julius half of the poster?
It like ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
They went away from it ostensibly because they didn't feel they needed it anymore. Which was strange, because if now we're talking about Julius Randle is somehow encumbered, then I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is. It's interesting. I love the thought though there. Manny Campos, where has this Tibbs been for 3 years? Switching up sub patterns, making adjustments in game, holding Julius Randle accountable. Wow, what a masterclass of coaching. So here's the thing with Tibbs, and this is what I have always suspected. Obviously, I don't know this to be true for a fact, but it is what I suspect. I think Tibbs understands that there are different priorities when you coach in the regular season versus when you coach in the playoffs. When you coach in the playoffs, you like the result of the, which is ironic. He understands in the playoffs the result of that game is the most important thing. In the regular season, it's funny because like he has a reputation of a guy who's going to like sell out to get every conceivable win. I don't see that as being the case, because I think when you look at the Elfrid Payton situation 3 years ago, when you look at the Julius Randle situation last year, I think Tibbs is a regular season coach who thinks a lot about the bigger picture and doing things that are maybe not in the best interest of the moment. Now, there is also the part of him that will marginalize certain young players and not put young players on the floor if they are not checking boxes X, Y, and Z. I understand that part of it would seem to be counterintuitive to the point that I'm trying to make. This is perhaps why I am in my own universe when it comes to this coach. I think what he's trying to go for. I think he is always thinking bigger picture, and that's why like he was never going to like bench Julius Randle last year, or like take Julius out of the starting lineup, or like play him like 28 minutes a game. Like he wasn't going to do that, because he knew if he did that, he would lose Julius forever. And now it comes down to, well, shit, I got to win a playoff game. That's different. Kent Gurrier, I think. I think there is a Josh Hart and a Jalen Brunson buddy ball issue. Buddy ball issue. Like a bad thing? I can't tell. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's a beautiful thing. Hamdi M, what's going on, Hamdi? Thank you for the incredibly generous contribution. So many people going over the top today. Thank you on behalf of myself and everybody here at KFS, especially you, Hamdi. You always do this, man. Hey, John, total team win. I love this team. I love this coach. I love KFS. I love GMAC. I love DJ Zulo. I love XJ. I love everybody. Oh, I love Benson too. It's over. I think the E is hitting really hard right now, Andy. That's what I think. Do you love Cheddar Ass Man? That is the question.
It's so funny.
It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old.
Oh my God. It was so good.
It's the best thing ever. Frank Miranda, what's going on, Frank? Speaking of generous contributors, he's always here, and he's always making his presence felt. What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. Let's freaking go. Game ball to Tibbs for having the grapefruits. To bench Randle in the fourth. More RJ Crow pie for me today. We're divvy it up, man. Divvy it up. Pass me a plate. Pass me a plate, a fork, maybe some whipped cream. Mac, the path is getting clearer for the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go Heat. Oh, God. Be careful what you wish for. Drazov. What's going on, Drazov? Looks like Mitchell was traded to the Knicks after all because his performance today was clutch for the Bockers. He was not good today. Shout out to anyone who said that you're due for a bad Mitchell game once a series. Today was a bad Mitchell game. Again, the list of, oh my God. Again, it's like Crow coming from all angles. I'm in the birds. I am in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. They're flying at me from every direction. The Crow for RJ, the Crow for Donovan Mitchell's going to have a huge game today, which I fully expected he was going to. I'm pretty sure I thought Julius Randle was. I don't think I said this, but I thought Julius Randle was going to have a big game today. Yeah. Amen to being wrong. Dennis DiSabato. Row him, Alexander Barrett Jr. I like it. Danny, what's going on, Danny? I missed you at halftime today. I'm done putting a ceiling on this team. Showed us time and time again how special they are. Nothing they do will surprise me. And for the first time in my 23 years on this earth, that is a good thing. Danny, that is a wonderful comment. Thank you. And thank you for always giving your thoughtful insights. Appreciate it. HMA 187. Hey, John, it's your boy from Sweden again. Shout out to Sweden and shout out to anyone from the other side of the pond watching. A big thank you guys over at KFS. For me, you guys and the Knicks Fan TV crew are the true heroes that keep us going during the dark days. I love that, like, there is enough of Knicks Nation out there that Knicks Fan TV has my Lord, do they have the following that they do and get the watches that they do and do what they do. And we have our, corner over here, and it's the more the merrier. And God knows all of the other Knicks content creators and podcasts and channels and, newsletters, everything. It's a special fan base. And the fact that we have fans all over the world, which, you're proof of, we need it, right? Knicks fan, you need all the outlets. And it's cool. Thanks for spending some time with us. Appreciate it. Kent with another one. Can we talk about how Josh Hart ices out Randle many times for Brunson on fast breaks and open sides of the court? I think people are missing that. Go look. I'll take a look. I don't really question anything Josh Hart does. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. I think Randle got good looks today. I think Randle got good shots. I think he didn't do much with them. And if Josh Hart does look more for Jalen Brunson, it's because Jalen Brunson is the guy you want with the ball in his hands in this series, especially. And that's because Julius Randle has Evan Mobley on him, who finished top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year most of the time. David Gradere, Obi driving up his trade value this series. LOL. Nah, man. Listen, how cool would it be if Obi was back next year? I haven't given up on it yet. We'll see. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Spicy Sham. If I don't get a noise complaint by the end of the series, it'll be a miracle. See, this is why I invited everybody from my building over, because they can't complain about the noise if they're in the apartment. The call is coming from inside the house. Hush Zoo with another one. I'm not kidding. The 2013 playoff run didn't give me this amount of joy. We're not done. One more. I will stay grounded for now. Please close it out, Knicks. They got to close it out. As far as the amount of joy that playoff run gave you, I think this playoff run has already superseded it. That playoff run obviously saw 6 victories. This playoff run has only seen 3 victories. However, again, we've talked about this. They were favored against the Celtics. They were supposed to wipe up with the Celtics. And then once they came out and they won game 1 and they won game 2, those games were exciting, but it was what we were supposed to do. There was a different vibe when you do what you were supposed to do as opposed to what many people doubt that you could do. And then turning to the Eastern Conference semifinals, the fact that they dropped game 1 took so much of the excitement off of game 2. And the fact that they dropped games 3 and 4 took so much of the excitement off of game 5. So I think if you're adding up the total joy quotient, I do think that there is an argument that 2023 has already superseded 2013. Rodrigo Gallegos. Oh my. Rodrigo, thank you. Thank you. I always struggle with these because the generosity is over the top. KFS deserves everything. We don't, but thank you. Y'all read the tape right. If not for calling out the Crow, he would not show out like he has. Thank you for everything, KFS. I take 0 credit for RJ Barrett's emergence as a star. But I'm glad it's happening, and I think oh my God, Andrew, you're not a Star Wars guy, but do you remember the moment? It was in the trailer of The Force Awakens where Harrison Ford's something like all the stories.
It's true.
About
all of
the Jedi.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Jedi, the Force. Yeah.
I want to say the same thing about him being built for this, needing to play in New York, being ready for the moment. It's true. All of it.
We said it over 2 hours ago.
That's how I feel right now.
The assessment of the 82-game sample, and if you want to go as far, the 4-year sample was accurate. He's elevated to a different level. He has now created a version of RJ that next year, when he's back, you can point to and be like, okay, he had another 2 for 12 first half, but remember those 2 playoff games? There's a level he can get to. He's earned that now. And that's my biggest takeaway of these 2 games so far. Easily. Those last 2 words are so important so far. Watch RJ close out this series in Cleveland. Man.
Yeah, I know. Just got to shake your head, make a noise. Danny Gardner, Jalen Brunson's the top 3 leader in the sport. RJ's decision-making growth has been monumental. The truest team in basketball does it again. I'm elated. My daughter's also very excited for Jalen Brunson. Yeah, 2 stars of the game. Well, 2 of the 3 stars of the game, because I cannot disparage Mitchell Robinson. See, my daughter thinks I'm disparaging Mitchell Robinson. She's very upset. Robert Cross with another one. It's your boy John. I want to bring this up right now. The Knicks need to rethink Obi for real, and that ain't no joke. Hashtag 53 wins. I mean, there's no secret that he hasn't been put in the most ideal positions to be successful over his 3 years here. That's not a secret, but I do think it takes a certain type of team to be built around him not built around him, but like be built like, again, I just think it's as simple as having a stretch five and a lead ball handler that is really, really good at throwing pinpoint lobs. It's those two things. That's it. It's those two things. They don't have those. Sam Garcia, my friend and I will be making the drive up from Columbus to Cleveland to watch our New York Knicks and end this series on Wednesday. # Knicks in 5. How cool would it be if there was a real big Knicks showing on Wednesday? That would be awesome. Drazov, also, there can't be any debate now. Brunson is the single greatest free agent acquisition in Knicks history. I can't imagine what the team would be like without him at all this season. I don't want to. We don't need to. Short conversation because we don't need to have it. Yes, and he's the greatest free agent signing in the history of the team. Jibo, so is DM worth RJ, Quentin Grimes, Obi, 3 picks and 3 swaps? I don't think so. Andrew Scro, SGRO, Scro? I don't know. Hartenstein and Mitch were awesome, even when things were trending down in the third. God bless Tibbs for not putting Randle back in the fourth. Also, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that so much. It needs, like, we have to keep going back to it. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a guy who was an all-star. You can't poo-poo that. You cannot just gloss over the fact that Jared Allen, I don't care that it was an injury replacement, or I don't even think it was an injury replacement at the time, but like whatever, that he was the last all-star on whatever. Jared Allen was an all-star a year ago. He was an all-star player. Evan Mobley was the 3rd pick in the draft a year ago, and this year finished 3rd in the Defensive Player of the Year voting. He has been compared to Kevin Garnett, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I saw the freaking quote up there during the damn game. Said he could be better than me. This is your center rotation for Cleveland. This is your center rotation. NBA All-Star, future superstar, MVP candidate, sort of player, Evan Mobley. The Knicks centers are outplaying them. Incredible stuff. Luyan Chow, so happy for RJ with all the criticism and pressure. He stepped up and delivered. Takes a special sort of character. And I don't mean like character like, oh, he's a character. I mean like character. What's in your bones? That's what I mean. Alfie Greco, greetings from the UK. Hope you enjoy your well-deserved crow tonight, John. Let's freaking go. I love my crow is going down so smooth. Completely, I love the crow. Live for the crow. Ryan Huang, what's going on, Ryan? The bad part about living in Western Michigan is that I'm pretty far away from New York. The good part, only a 4-hour drive to Milwaukee. Bet. Man, I hope you get to make that drive. I think it's going to be Milwaukee, by the way, for what it's worth. In the next round for whoever advances. That's all I'll say. Greg Film Stuff, thank you for the generous contribution, Greg. The 2 biggest games of the series, and RJ has showed up, owned the moment, and has cleaned up his game. How can we get Randle on track? Missing shots doesn't bother me, but giving up on defense, plus the bad body language. It's the best question of the post game so far, easily. I don't know that there's a good answer. If he's not right physically, I think that's a big deal. How do you make Julius? I can't even speak to this because we don't know how much of it is physical. If it's physical, then I don't know what we're supposed to do with him. What Tibbs is supposed to do with any assistant coach is supposed to do with him. What his teammates are supposed to say to him. I just don't know the answer to that question. Like, Julius has spoken openly about the above the next stuff. I think there is no, like, how can we get Randle on track? If there's one thing Julius Randle has shown over the course of at least his Knicks career, it's that the only person who's going to get Julius Randle on track is himself. I don't know if that's good news or bad news. Spider-Man NYK. What the frig is our Hart's? And then there's a picture of 2 basketballs made of. JB is officially a superstar. They are made of adamantium. That is the answer. Sam Garcia's dad. Shout out to Blockage. Yes, the whole Garcia clan has been here today. Sam Garcia and his dad. The greatest moment of Wally Zerbiak's career as a player or commentator. Jess Fernandez, what's going on, Jess? Every time I think I can't be more invested in these guys, they pull together for an even more amazing win. I love this team and I love the season. What a ride. They are, without question, for me, the easiest Knicks team to root for since I was a kid. Robert Cross. First time, long time, John. How do you feel about the Knicks being a dark horse for the Eastern Conference Finals? I recall saying that maybe a month or two ago. Hashtag 53 wins. I still don't think that this team is beating a healthy Bucks team. I don't know if they're going to get a healthy Bucks team. I feel like I'm excited to watch more Knicks playoff basketball. That's how I feel, Robert. Thank you, as always. Guy Huber then. John, I am in tears. I'm pushing 40, as am I. I haven't seen it all. I have seen it all. I watch every minute a team of redemption and Crow delivery men. And yes, that includes Tibbs. And the growth he's shown this season is insane. Guy Huber, I can't add anything to that because that was beautifully put. They are a team of redemption and Crow delivery men. And they are delivering Crow across the NBA. In some instances, like in my case with RJ, they're delivering Crow to their own fans. But in the case of Jalen Brunson, I mean, you want to talk about delivering some Crow? What's Mark Cuban doing today? You know, I'd like to know that. Ben Kim Gervey, what's going on, Ben? It's great to see you as always. It seems that Donovan Mitchell scored less than 9 points in the second half. Oh my goodness, he did. I'm buying a beer for everybody on the halftime Zoom. I have to figure out where. Someplace cheap, please.
The full stat line, by the way, for Donovan Mitchell in the second half. He had 3 points on 1 of 9 shooting and 0 of 3 from 3 for Donovan Mitchell.
So I said
0 assists with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 turnover. Well.
I said to everybody on the halftime Zoom, and shout out to the. Oh my goodness, my daughter's very excited about Donovan Mitchell's poor second half. I said to everybody on the halftime Zoom, shout out to all of my Knicks Film School newsletter subscribers. You get to hear me on halftime for every game. I said I will buy everybody a beer if the Knicks, if Donovan Mitchell doesn't pass his point total from the first half when he scored 9. So, I mean, I have to.
Do you have to be there for the? Did you have to be on?
I think it's the least I could do is be there.
No. Did you have to be there on the Zoom to?
You had to be there on the Zoom, and
okay.
I have a record if it was there. So
okay,
yeah.
All right, I'll settle for the free drink you're getting me after the season for Obi Randle minutes.
I lost that, didn't I?
Yeah, to me and Fred. Drinks on Macri.
I really got to stop doing this.
Yeah.
Well, not if you have anything to do with it. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. Can we say once more that RJ Barrett should be the second option over Julius? I will. Hashtag 53 wins. It's different because RJ was playing off of Jalen. Julius can generate attention. They're different players.
How about this? The emergence of RJ Barrett has created the Knicks with multiple second options in this series outside of Julius Randle.
Yes.
That's the take, right?
That's
Robert.
Well said. And to be clear, RJ can generate some offense on his own very well. But where he has specialized the most in this series is being the guy who gets to attack his defender one-on-one. And like being able to consistently attack your defender and score one-on-one is like, there aren't that many guys in the NBA who can do that efficiently, and he's been doing it efficiently. So, Josso focused. Last one, 11 is not as good as 12. Hashtag best Mitchell in the series. 11 is not as good as 12. This is where my player uniform numbers ignorance comes into play. 11 is not as good as 12. What uniform is number is Donovan Mitchell? He's not number 11?
Now I'm confused.
Yeah, right?
So
I don't know.
Best Mitchell in the series. Mitchell Robinson's number 23?
That sounds right.
Is he? What number is Donovan Mitchell?
And Donovan Mitchell's number 45.
Number 45. Well, 45 is greater than 12. Oh, wait. How many points did Donovan Mitchell have today?
Oh, Mitch had more than... Oh, there we go.
There it is.
We're missing the forest for the trees. Bad job by us.
Jesus,
Thank
this
you,
game
John.
from Donovan Mitchell.
It's a really bad game.
Mitchell
What
Robinson.
are Cavs fans saying about him?
Oh, so you want to know? So shout out
do.
to French Jeremy, the Jeremy Goldstein, who is running on social for us and jumped in a couple of Cavs spaces after the game. So did Mensa, so did Sean. They're calling for Dwight Howard. Why didn't the Cavs go get him to play backup center? Would have made a difference in this series. They're trading LeVert for everything. Like, they're down bad over in Cleveland. Yes. Don't worry. You've got football season to look for. Oh, wait, that's right.
Dwight Howard?
Yeah, that's how bad they are. And that's how bad the two centers have played this series, or at least been outplayed in this series.
You got Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez is better than Dwight Howard right now.
Yeah.
Your is just like so belittling, and
especially when I do it to teams that the Knicks have, taken the trash out on.
You're very good at that.
Thank you.
HMA 187. Andrew, this is the team Prime Melo deserve.
Thank
Prime
you.
Melo on this team.
Swap out this version of Julius for Prime Melo. What are the Knicks?
Title team.
Yes, absolutely. But no, he was on a team with Landry Fields. No disrespect to Landry Fields.
Don't disparage Ray Felton.
Ray Felton was fine as a role player, as a point
nice
guard.
player.
A nice player, exactly.
A nice player.
The guys that were supposed to be the second guys on that team were J.R. Smith and Amari Stoudemire when he wasn't going one-on-one with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Regardless, I like the team we have now. I look forward to seeing how high this ceiling can get.
Me and you both. Thanks, HMA 187. Andrew Palladino, supporting from work. Thank you. Grateful for my boss who let me watch the game on my phone. And don't worry, I had my Knicks jersey on under. I can't wait for Wednesday. Keep it off KFS. So you're working on a Sunday, and you're on your phone watching. I'm trying to figure out, are you like in like a hospital rotation, or are you like a lawyer or an intern for like a white shoe law firm or something? It's got to be one of those two. But now I'm curious. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Glad you got to watch. John Schmilk, hey, how you doing? Speaking of the Browns, we get our football insider here. I think this is John Schmilk's first ever super chat. This is awesome. Team win. Everyone great except Randle. Yes. Both centers. Yes. Hart played huge plays late. Defended Mitchell. Great. Yes. Brunson is Brunson. Yes. RJ played the game of his life. Yes. And Obi and Deuce had moments. Yes. One more. IQ's team defense was great. Yes. Tibbs willing to keep Randle out of the game. We got to get Schmilk on for a man. Talk about Debbie Downer. Schmilk is usually he's not a Debbie Downer, but he grounds us in reality when he comes on and talks about the Knicks. So yeah, Schmilk, we're gonna get you on beginning of the offseason. It should be fun. I'm excited about that. Go Giants. Sorry, Andrew. Sheldon Gomes.
Go
seeing
Giants.
The Knicks.
I don't get this. I don't have a hatred for the Giants. They're my heroes.
You're a Jet fan.
The Jet-Giant rivalry is so overrated, at least in my house, because
different conferences.
They beat Brady twice. They're the reason I don't have to hear those chowder-eating losers up in Boston to say that they have a perfect season for the rest of my life. Thank you, Eli Manning, even though you shouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, my God. Shots fired. Wait, hold on. Go to that one more time. Sheldon Gomes, seeing the Knicks of old, Starks, King, Larry Johnson, Spree, rally around this team right now is special, man. I saw Larry Johnson giving props to RJ after the game. Really cool moment. And for the connect the old with the new. Very cool. Very cool. Completely agree with that. Good stuff, Sheldon. Spider-Man NYK. I've been a Knicks fan since Insanity. I'm younger than you, John. I figured as much. I honestly never thought I'd be watching a seriously good Knicks team. This is lit. I think that's what the kids say. You know how lit this is? My 6.5-year-old. It's 6:00 p.m. right now. My 6.5-year-old is passed out on the couch because she was up here running around crazy with her friends all day, and had shout out to my daughter again, who's sleeping right now, so I don't even know if she could hear this. Had her first sleepover last night, and also shout out to my wife who resisted the temptation to go downstairs and knock on the door and be like, "Is my daughter okay?" She showed a lot of maturity, and also shout out to my wife. I think she brought good tidings today because she wore, not that she'd ever gone on camera, but she wore the Obi-Wan shirt. Obi-Wan: The Next Generation. Shout out to all of our Ewing tier patrons who know what I'm talking about with that shirt. Okay, enough shout outs to my family. James Choi, what's going on, James? We can judge RJ's career from the series on. I'm fine with that. Knicks Heat breakdown coming by next weekend. Just don't bring back Giancarlo. If the Knicks play the Heat in the next round, I'm gonna have a daily live 3 hours with Giancarlo. That's what I want.
We have to do a bunch of Miami Heat beat crossovers. Maybe shout out to Zaslow. Maybe get the Lebitard show crew involved. That'll be a monumental series, John.
It would start with us giving them a ton of shit because he said their whole fan base wanted to like trade Butler.
Oh my gosh,
for the pick,
John!
And the whole thing.
I'm gonna send you a link after this. Whenever you have time, watch it. The post game after they lost to the Hawks in that play-in game. The just lose on Friday. Stop wasting my time. This season's been a disaster. I hope we got a better chance of getting Wembanyama than getting a first round playoff win against the Bucks. And here we are, an injury later, you know. And
I'll tell him to his face, I do believe when you compare what they have been given with what they have given as a fan base, it's the worst fan base in sports. I'm going to tell him that when he's on, if he's on.
I think he would agree to the extent of like, yeah, we have stuff.
Not him, but like in general.
As a fan base, yes. Miami's an event city. New York is they create the event. Yeah, they're a sports town. They create the event. You know, the next two are from Busy.
Oh boy, Busy. This one is for Sean with a W. Julius Randle equals a pumpkin. All caps. Thank God he doesn't believe in load management and wants to play all 82 because he sure as hell isn't a 16-game player, man. The guy might be hurt, Busy.
It's my biggest calculation is that the reason he's not going bully ball anymore is because he can't push off.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley is able to elevate better than Julius can. And as a result, Julius has to rely on these jump shots.
And if he can't elevate, that doesn't exactly
He's a jump shooter at this point, you know?
I'm not a guy who's played the game, but I know enough to know if you can't elevate, it makes your shot tougher to hit. And Busy with one more. I said on Discord I wasn't going to kill him because he had Mobley on him, but I watched him closely this game. He didn't even try to attack, just settle for jumpers. Again, if Julius Randle is healthy and the game that we just saw just happened, it changes the conversation completely. If he's hurt, I have to. That adds so much context for me. That's me, but you know,
all I will say is what I said 2 hours ago. What the RJ experience has taught us: we do not throw out players in their worst moments. And for all of us not named John Macri that are looking ahead to the next round, I think Julius will do much better against Kevin Love than Evan Mobley or whoever, like Cody Martin or whatever Martin they have in Miami. Okay. Even if they do put Bam on him, great. Then we'll have we'll have Josh Hart and Mitch, this version of Mitch, take advantage of it. Point being, you're going to need Julius against Miami. And oh boy, are you going to need Julius against Milwaukee if it gets there. So
listen, let's get to the next series first.
I wasn't talking to you. I said everybody but John Macri.
Thank you.
Yes,
for that important caveat.
I made sure. That's an important. I knew who I was talking to.
You should have muted yourself so I couldn't hear you for that.
By the way, everybody, thank you so much for the generosity. We're headed for our longest live stream ever. That is a post game because they're still coming in, John. I know that it's like dinner time in the Macri household.
No, it's Sunday. It's Sunday. My
good.
wife just went to give the kids a bed. I just may need you to take over for about 30 seconds while I grab myself another beer.
All right. Talk to Sam Garcia's dad. Read Sam Garcia's dad's read Ray's thing, and then go get your beer, and I'll respond to it.
I'm guessing one of the narratives will be people wanting to get rid of Julius. Spoiler alert.
I didn't even realize that was the chat.
Again, it happens like a couple times post game where it's like we talk about something and then a chat pops up that's like, wait a minute, did you like read our minds? There's no need to play There's no need to play off-season GM right now. It's take it. See, Sam Garcia's dad is wise. He's been around the block a few times. Drew may still win us a game. He helped win us game one. He was one of my players at the game in a game where there were other good players. Let's not forget that. Hashtag team win. Hashtag I heart this team. All right. Talk for a minute.
Sounds good. I agree. Sam Garcia's dad. I very much agree. Yes. Shout out to that sentiment. Robert Cross. There we go. Robert Cross. First time in a long time. We need Deuce in the rotation going forward. Those were 5 very fun minutes, Robert. I was thrilled with how well he played. I also wonder if we want to do causation and overreact in a certain way. Did Donovan Mitchell getting out of rhythm start with the 5 minutes that Deuce McBride put him into a blender? Not a blender, into in some kind of trap. Like a Venus flytrap. Regardless, I love the Deuce McBride minutes. I'm cool if it's 5 minutes going forward, and then the game dictates how much you need them in the future. Next up, Chris Carter. I will make sure John sees this later. A very generous contribution in the super chat. Really appreciate you and everybody else that's been so generous throughout this post game. Was out on Tibbs. Oh, John needs to see this one. Was out on Tibbs midway through last year when they went 3-17 and he refused to make any lineup adjustments. I would scream at you through the screen when you defended him. I now have complete faith in this coach. I am a Tibbs guy again. What a world. Oh, dear God, is John Macri about to read this and see what just happened?
Hey,
John, I know you're not a man of religion, but I think you may have more persuasive powers for the gospel than you realize. So
why?
Read the super chat that Chris Carter sent. A very generous
First of all,
chat.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. And this is not your first incredibly generous contribution, but we've had a lot of very generous contributions today, and I'm so appreciative of all of them. Let me read the super chat. Was out on Tibbs midway through last year when they went 3-17 and refused to make any lineup adjustments. I would scream at you through the screen when you defended him. I now have complete faith in this coach. I am a Tibbs guy again. What a world. I mean, I think he's a good coach. He's a good coach. He is an imperfect coach because I don't, other than one or two coaches, or if maybe one or two more in the NBA, I don't think there are any perfect coaches, and it's just it's a tough job, and you don't always choose right. Hindsight's always 20/20, but the reason that I have always lived and died by him, and I've always believed in him, is because I know his work ethic is unquestioned, 1, and 2, I know all he cares about is winning. I don't think there's any ego. And people may disagree with that. Reasonable minds can differ. But
are you aware of any... Hold on. I have a follow-up in a second. Are you aware of what just happened in the Golden State Kings game?
I went to get a beer and I came back and it looked like the Warriors were cruising to a victory, and now I see that they are up by 1, and I think the Kings have the ball.
Steph Curry just Chris Webbered. Called timeout when they didn't have a timeout.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That really happened?
Yes, that really happened. So to the sentiment that about last season with Tibbs, I think he's a good coach that had his worst season in the NBA as
Easily.
head coach. And there were a lot of factors that went into it. And that doesn't change the fact that I was also just as frustrated, but also was like, let's see what happens with Brunson. The cool part about this year are two things. One, anybody that had faith in RJ Barrett, you know, you give them credit. Anybody that had faith in Tibbs, you give them credit for sticking with it.
Well, listen,
While also, let me finish. While also acknowledging that you want to talk about the New York Giants. Tibbs pulled a full Tom Coughlin. This is a different version of Tibbs than what we saw last year. The willingness to be more flexible. Oh, John made a face at the game.
Harrison Barnes missed the shot at the buzzer after De'Aaron Fox could not gain penetration.
Okay, so that's a 2-2 series. Point being is that I think there's a little bit of good on us or more you in particular for sticking with him and believing in him. Also good on Tibbs. The same way we're saying good on RJ for playing better, good on Tibbs for coaching better and being better. It's been a masterclass so far this series.
And also good on the organization because, like, you know what? Nobody gets a pass. Actually, there are a few people who were just like, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. Those people were few and far between. Whether it was people calling for Tibbs' job, whether it was people calling for Leon Rose's job, whether it was people calling trade Randle, trade RJ, you know, tank for a pick or whatever. All these different things. The organization, I wonder, I don't know, maybe I'm giving them too much credit here, but like NBA history says that continuity has value. And the Knicks, for the first time in a very long time, gave themselves a chance with continuity. And that includes the coach, that includes the players, that includes the front office. I mean, I don't know how much credit we want to give James Dolan here, but like, hey, I don't know, was he ever tempted to fire somebody or another? Maybe he was. Whatever. Credit for continuity. Josso focused. Last one. Series is not over yet. Disappointed in you. But you don't know me very well because so the series is over when it's over.
Shout out Josso Focus too. This is the 5th consecutive last one that you've sent in. So thank you, Ja.
Love you, Ja. Thank you. Hey, Shin. What's going on? Hey, Shin Ferg. Credit RJ, Jalen Brunson, and Tibbs for making the right move with Julius Randle. Mitch, Hart, and Hart dominated the glass and manhandled the Cavs. Let's go to Cleveland and close. Let's go Knicks. I think that's really well said. You highlighted everybody, and it's a game where, how many days ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago? Knicks played a game 2 in which I didn't think anybody played particularly. Like, people did some good things, but, like, you looked at that game, and I remember I think I gave Josh Hart the 3-star player, and I even wrote it. I'm like, this is by default because there's no one else who really deserves it, and he didn't do anything like actively detrimental to contribute to his team losing. I gave Mitch the 2-star player, I think, award, and I was like, his presence on offense is incredibly damaging to the team right now. So, like, that's a game where, like, nobody played well. And this is a game where pretty much everybody except for Julius Randle did play well. So, credit to them. Awesome stuff. Jessica, what's going on, Jess? Josh freaking Hart, baby. Woo! I've been singing his praises since we got him. My super chats are proof. The most playoff wins since the 2013 Knicks. Let's go, Knicks. I am on a text chain with some people that will not be named. And one of whom was so over the top against the Hart acquisition and thought it was like complete organizational nonsense that to give up anything to get a player who's like, he was just not And he was like, I'm not low on the player, but I just, like, why would you do it? This is why you do it. Baby steps in the NBA. Baby steps. The reality of the NBA is not, as some would have you believe, tank or compete for a title. There are in-between zones that matter. And how you exist in the in-between means a lot. Harry Baker, what's going on, Harry? Thank you for the generous contribution. Thank everybody for their generosity today. Hey, KFS, longtime watcher, but based in London, so I normally can't watch live. Mitch bodying the living shit out of Allen all series has been great to see. I hope he starts to get a bit more recognition because he's always felt underrated by rival fans. I think that's a great point. I think Mitch has a reputation of being just like another starting center. Just like, not like a guy, not like Mason Plumlee, but like just like a middle of the road starting NBA center. And there was certainly a lot of energy, including, I never went this far, but like I appreciated where people were coming from with this sentiment, which was the Knicks just gave Mitch 4 times as much money as Hartenstein, and Hartenstein might be the better of the two options for this team. Now, have there been times this year when Hartenstein has been the better player? Yes, but Mitchell Robinson is a game changer, and you pay game changers money. And, like, I don't know where he fits in the league-wide rankings as far as starting centers go. I think there's a really good argument that he's in the top 10. And more importantly, and again, I brought this up with XJ and I brought this up with DJ Zulo. In the NBA, you pay for elite skill. You pay for elite skill if it comes with a player that could stay on the floor for meaningful minutes in a playoff game. And Mitchell Robinson, despite his offensive limitations, can stay on the floor for meaningful minutes in a playoff game. And because of his elite skills that he brings to the table, he's worth the money. Absolutely worth the money. Ryan, what's going on, Ryan? When the Knicks were winning 5, can we have a live stream where it's just reviewing and reacting to Mentz's Twitter account, asking for a friend? I forget who we have on scheduled for the Game 5 postgame.
It's Benji.
What? Oh, it's Benji? Okay. We might have to, if they...
Bro, Knicks winning 5. I don't think there's any force that could keep Mensa from coming on this postgame.
No, he would incept himself into our minds if we didn't have him on.
Yeah.
I love it. Juanon, cops just booted us off 6th Avenue. Let's freaking go. Shout out to everyone who was at the game. I wrote a newsletter after game 3, kind of making my case that Knicks fans were the real MVP of that game. And you brought the energy today, despite the fact that it was a matinee game. Credit to you, all of you. Thanks, Juanon. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the generous contribution. You've been one of the MVPs of the season in the Super Chat. Seriously. Nick C92 was up at 5 a.m. in New Zealand for this. Due to work, I can never watch the live feed. Damn it. What a freaking win. May need to redo the best players list. I want Fred Katz to catch all the strays. That's all I want. I have to have something prepared for Fred for Tuesday. It should be fun. Jesse M. Scott Foster tonight. Awful refs. Yep. Agree. Did not think the refereeing was good. We overcame it. Credit to the Knicks. Jessica Elsner. Rap song of the game. Oh, yes. Here we go. This is it. This is the winner. Baby We Back by Sir Nix-a-Lot. Don't want none unless you got Brunson. Oh, my God, Jess. Oh, it's either you or Cheddar Assman for the MVP of the postgame. We back. # round thing in your face. I love that song. I used to play that song all the time when I DJ'd. It was a reliable, it gets you a pop. Doesn't matter if you play it at 10 o'clock or 3 in the morning. Baby Got Back. That's a classic. It's a banger. Amazing stuff. Kevin Danishevsky in the building. John, hold the crow. I'm going to need some leftovers. Name a more impactful trade than Hart. Tibbs did the right thing in the fourth. Let's freaking go Knicks. Name a more impactful trade. Name a more impactful in-season trade. In-season trade. Well, I mean, we'll see how Kevin Durant does in Phoenix. Note that. It makes me want to go through the last 5 years of in-season NBA trades and do a top 10 list. I certainly think that trade has a chance to be in the top 10 of the last 5 years, if not the last 5 of the last 5 years. Let's see how the rest of the season goes. That's a good. Remind me, Kevin, of that offseason article if I forget to do it. Connor, Cavs equals shook ones. You know, it's funny because I saw and shout out to New York Basketball, great Twitter account. He picked up right where JB left off with the original KFS Twitter account, kind of being the aggregation central. I saw he retweeted Cavs coach JB Bickerstaff saying, you know, before this game, like, oh, we're not shook by anyone or anything. The lady doth protest too much. That's all I'll say about that. John with another one. RJ in the presser. This is amazing. We get beat reporters coming in and
John Schmilk, by the way, in the presser.
John Schmilk. Was he not at the game?
No, he wasn't. But the point is, you said John with
credentials for the game.
Yes, you said John with another one. I'm just clarifying for the listening audience.
Oh, John Schmilk, yes.
John Schmilk with another one. Shout out John Schmilk.
John, go get yourself credentialed and go cover a Knicks game. The Giants aren't playing yet. It's fine. RJ in the presser wasn't looking to take over the game, just make the right play. The Cavs were helping off of him, and he took it right to the rim off of passes, not ISOs or pick and roll to start off. Plus, good defense, perfect role. He was fantastic. You can't play a better game than RJ played other than the threes and the free throws, you know, which was like, you know, it happens, but doesn't matter. Stephen W. We still need Randle to show up, yes, but good to see RJ get on a roll. If quicker Randle gets hot, then the Knicks will be a problem in the playoffs. I agree. Yes. I do. Andrew's asking me if I have my ring light on. I have both lights on, but the window is open and the sun is shining.
Okay. You're molded in the darkness at the moment.
Good. You can read the next super chat and I'll close the blinds.
There you go. Sounds good. Shout out Robert Cross for the next super chat. It's your boy, John, or Andrew in this case. The Knicks are a great basketball team and a dark horse title contender. Full stop. Hashtag 53 wins. So John won't do this, but I'll speculate with you because he doesn't have his headphones on right now. So when we get to the finals and Robert, you're sending in hashtag 53 wins super chats when they're on win 59, win 60. What does the hashtag change? Like what happens in this case? You know, John, what I was going to say is it better for is it better for Knicks Film School if the Knicks losing 6 to the Bucks in the next round, so that way we get a 53-win season? Or do we want to change the hashtag to hashtag 63 wins?
The hashtag can never change. The hashtag is forever.
Hashtags forever. Print the t-shirts.
007 Angelo. Randle got to be hurt after he went down in game 2. The rest will do him some good. Knicks never tell the truth about injuries. Go Knicks. Go great win. Yes, I completely agree that rest will do Randle good. I don't know that I remember the play you're talking about where Randle got hurt in game 2.
Barrett Allen, garbage time. We were like,
that.
Why is Randle in the game? Yes. I didn't even factor that in. That would be interesting if that actually re-aggravated something else that has forced Randle to have less burst.
That would explain why Tibbs went out of his way to.
Like, do you know what this guy's going through? Like, he landed on his ass 3 days ago or a week ago, and you know, I
Didn't
just
think of that.
It's why I also wonder with Tibbs, the calculation he made is like, I need his size, I need his presence, I need his gravity. I have other options, which is why you saw the fourth quarter we saw today.
He still needs those other things.
He does.
All right. Thanks, 007 Angel. Good call by you. Johnny Chiba, ball movement without Julius Randle is better than Julius Randle ball movement. Hashtag sell high, hashtag free Obi, hashtag KOC. Johnny's been a long time Randle hater.
He has. Also, the chat is ball movement without Randle is better than a Julius Randle bowel movement.
Oh, bowel movement.
Got the poop emoji on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have trouble reading Johnny, deciphering Johnny for sometimes. That's my bad.
We don't give up on RJ. We don't give up on Julius. It's my only agenda today. Julius played horrible today.
He's bad.
Am speculating he might not be fully healthy, but you're out there. You're playing. Knicks got the win without him. I'll take it.
Brian Lests. Tibbs with a world of credit. I told you I was worried about him sticking with an injured or cold Randle too long, and that's sinking them. Hashtag mid-game adjustments. Was not going to let Julius Randle lose this game for him. He just wasn't. I really hope it's not the injury that Randle's sustained in game 2. That would be such a shame because that was such a dumb freaking thing that Tibbs did to leave him in there. We're praising Tibbs left and right now, and we should because he coached a really good game and all the things, but I hope that's not what this is. Manny Campos, what's going on, Manny? I'm going to say it right now. If the Knicks start Game 5 strong, that crowd is going to turn on them, and it'll rattle them just as much as the Garden crowd has. I think, people in Cleveland aren't. They're not that bright. So, like, they get amped up, and then if you smack them in the face, they're going to kind of be confused and I don't disagree with that statement. Claudio Santos, what's going on, Claudio? Julius's number is in the Cavs series are now worse than the Hawks series. They're very bad. But he's being a good teammate and is contributing. Well, he seems to be a good teammate, but I don't think he was a bad teammate in the Hawks series. His defense has been okay at times. Other times, not so much. I don't know. It's very reminiscent of the Hawks series as far as I'm concerned, but with a very, 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 very big difference of one, he doesn't need to be the focal point, and two, there may be an injury issue. Not like an all-star, but I could live with that. And if RJ has recovered, why not Julius? That I completely agree with, and Andrew has expressed that several times. We don't give up on players when they're at their lowest. It's not what we do as a fan base. True statement. How about the 90s Knicks showing love to this team? Yeah. I love it. Starks, LJ, Spree. Who am I missing? Somebody else was there too. Rest in peace, Anthony Mason, by the way. Brian Yu. Thank you for the generous contribution. Harry Donor was at the game. It was like an out-of-body experience. Let's go. Let's freaking go Knicks. That's really cool. I'm so jealous of everybody who got to be. I mean, I love that I'm able to do this right now, but I'm so jealous of everybody who got to be there for this game and Game 3. Seems like a really cool experience. Johnny Chiba with another one. Please discuss Julius Randle high-use clutch stats. Hashtag sell high. Keep RJ. Come on, we gotta be better than this. We gotta be better than this. Julius Randle was an all-star for this team this year. Julius Randle, I still think, is going to make All-NBA for this team this year. Julius Randle has been an incredibly important player. I understand his style of play is not for everybody, but to say that he doesn't give this team everything he's got, to say that he doesn't care about winning, to say that he is not a massive part of their success, that's just not accurate, and they've needed his gravity all year because guess what? The version of RJ that we've gotten in these two games hasn't been the version of RJ that we've seen a lot of this year. And they needed Julius all the way through. They don't win 47 games without Julius. They don't play the Cavs in the first round without Julius. They're not the 2022-23 Knicks without Julius, plain and simple. So we gotta keep it a buck here. Fred Katz, who would you say has been better in games 3 and 4, RJ or Dean Wade? I don't know. I'm going to have to consult my local beat reporter for that one. Thank you, Fred. Congratulations on figuring out how to super chat. Moscow Drug Mule, great name, almost as good as Cheddar Assman. Hey, John, first time, long time. How do you rate the potential Donovan Mitchell trade that almost happened this summer given his performance this series? I got to push back on that a little bit. Donovan Mitchell was excellent in game 1. He was arguably the best player on the floor in game 1. He did everything his team needed him to do in game 2. Another guy had it going, deferred, the whole thing. Game 3 was he was not good in game 3, but he also wasn't bad in game 3. He was fine. And he had a horrible game 4. Now, I said, and this is where, again, I gotta keep it going. Series isn't over yet. Let's see what happens in game 5, and if there's a game 6, and if there's a game 7. This is a game traditionally, game 4, your team down 2-1 on the road, where superstars show up and have a superstar type game. Donovan Mitchell did not have that game. It goes on his resume. It is a permanent mark on his resume, and it will be exponentially in deeper ink if the Cavs do not pull out this series, and or he does not show up big time in one of the next, in however many games are left. All that being said, I rate the potential Donovan Mitchell trade that would have been made on the Knicks end the same way I rated it yesterday, which is the same way I rated it a month ago, which is the same way I rated it 6 months ago. I'm happy they didn't make the trade. It was not the right trade for them to make. That's it. Deadwords 604 again with another one. Thank you, Deadwords. Did you notice quickly when he'd help on Donovan traps? He took Mitchell out of his game, but still got back to his open man. Just nothing but fits for the Cavs. I want to shout out somebody else here. So, it's exceptional podcasting, I know. A gentleman by the name of Zach Gronfine or Gronfine, I don't know. Sent me a clip from game 3, which he was maybe being a little bit hyperbolic, and he was like, this is the greatest defensive play I've ever seen. It was a play from game 3 in which Emmanuel Quickley, Evan Mobley got the ball on the post down low, and Emmanuel Quickley was not there at the moment he got the ball, but got there by the time Mobley was ready to get into a shooting motion. And it forced Mobley to pass to the weak side corner. So, and then in the time that Mobley made the pass from the strong side to the weak side, quickly, the man who was guarding Mobley got to the weak side to contest the three-point shot. And it was a real contest. People who are crazy about going back and watching the film may remember the play I'm talking about. The point of this is Benji, I think, was the first person to use the everything everywhere all at once movie poster, whatever, to describe Emmanuel Quickley. That's Emmanuel Quickley. He and that is not just an effort thing. That is an anticipation. That is such a skill. To know the rotations and shout out. Speaking of Fred Katz, who I've made fun of a few times on this post game, but I'll give him a shout out. Did a whole article earlier in the season in which he talked to Emmanuel Quickley about his defensive rotations. And for anybody who may not have read the article, there was after a game after Quickley knew that Fred was working on the article. Quick came into the locker room after a game, and he had a pretty good game, but there was a moment in the game were quickly made what he defined as like a pre-rotation, which was rotating before the ball swings. And he came into the locker room and immediately he saw Fred and was like, did you see the pre-rotation I made in the third quarter, wherever it was? And he was so giddy about it. And it goes to show that this player, and shout out to Fred Katz, go subscribe to him for The Athletic, because this is one of literally dozens of stories that he had this year about this team that was exceptional. It is proof that this is a special player. And it is, a lot of talk tonight has been about Josh Hart being like a winning player, a glue guy, the whole thing. Emmanuel Quickley is every bit the same. And I know he didn't make a basket tonight. All the dude does is contribute to winning in so many different ways. So, yeah, shout out to him. And I completely agree with the sentiment here, Deadwoods. Kane Marco, take Mob General. What's going on, man? Guys, stop saying 53 wins. It's going to take 63 to win it all. We're 13 away. Let's go. Love it. Get there one of these years. I know that. Robert Ryan, if RJ can get back to shooting just league average from 3, he can have an all-star season. Hashtag StarJ. I mean, the guy we've seen in the last 2 days, that's an all-star. Yeah, that's a freaking Luli. I don't really care if he shoots a 3 or not. That's an all-star level player. That's absolutely an all-star level player. Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Robert. Knowledge. Ayo Macri. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart are easily the 2 biggest Knicks acquisitions in decades. F it, throw iHeart in there as the 3rd best. It was I don't know when they do the executive of the year voting, but I hope they do it after the playoffs. Leon Rose deserves some votes. Thanks, Knowledge. Appreciate you. Kevin Danishevsky explained to me how this defense was ranked 20th. Well, they didn't defend like this. They didn't defend like this all year, and they didn't defend like this all year because I think they did. I think they knew they didn't need to. That's like when you're, again, they were a top 5 offense for like the last 40 or 50 games or whatever it was, 30 or 40 games. They were a top 5 offense for a long time, and before that, they were a top 10 offense. I think they knew that they didn't need to, and they also, like, Josh Hart, midseason trade, like, say what you want. They had to adjust to that. Mitchell Robinson injury, that was a big deal. There are reasons why they, and also I've spoken about this many times, the middle of the pack in the NBA, yes, they were 20th, but like if you look at the defensive ratings for the teams from like 11 to 20, they're within like 1 point per 100 possessions of each other or whereabouts. So, it's not like they were a bad defense. They just weren't a good defense all year. RD Knicks. Tibbs put on a coaching masterclass. All he needed was talent, and the trust he showed his players all season is paying off. This gets back to what I was saying about the Randle thing from last year. I believe fully that the trust that Tibbs engenders in his players pays dividends in moments like this. I will. I'll go to my grave remembering this quote from Taj Gibson. If you want to win, Tibbs is your guy. But implicit in that is you need to buy in. And he has a team full of guys that buy in. And he trusts them and they trust him. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Brian Less with another one. 21 playoffs hurt so much because when the lights turned on, the Magic stopped. Yes, they did, sadly. To think they're showing out now and with a younger core means so much. I'm savoring the moment. For me, 22-23 is better than 12-13. I want to win this series. I want to see what they do the next series. For me, it is also better than 12-13 for the reasons that Andrew eloquently spoke about earlier. But I think we could make that an official thing depending on what happens over the next couple of weeks. Daniel Carlisto. Great win. Broadway Barrett. Josh Hart is indispensable. Scott Foster should be fired. Scott Foster is terrible. I don't want to get on a soapbox about NBA refereeing, but like the NBA has a refereeing problem. Just, it does. The fact that like people are like, I know the like NFL refereeing isn't good either, But like, I don't know. Maybe Andrew can speak to this, or in baseball for that matter. Like, do people see like who the umpires are going to be for a game, or like who the refs are going to be in the NFL for a game, and they do the same shit? Yeah.
So football, not necessarily, because there's so much variance with like the marginal calls with football. Like you could call holding
Okay,
on
so that's
every
what I
play.
mean.
For baseball, though, based on your strike zone what you're getting, and
Okay, that's a strike zone, but
yeah,
like that's a very
everything else
specific,
is on replay.
but that's a very specific thing. Whereas the NBA has a situation where it's like, oh, if this referee is refereeing, we know that's bad for this team and it's good for this other team. That's a problem, man.
Yeah,
that's a fucking problem.
And it's been like that for years, which is the unfortunate
I know,
part,
and it's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. With baseball, it's specifically to pitching it, though, is my point. Like, this pitcher, this umpire calls a lot of strikes. This one doesn't. This one is a wide zone. This one doesn't. So
totally. All right. I hear my name being called, so we're gonna get through the rest of this pretty soon.
You tell me if you need me to tap in, and
no, we're good. We can get through the rest of it. We're almost home free. Kevin Danishevsky, best sporting event I've ever been to by far. I love that. My daughter agrees. Alex, game one. My God, she's in pain. Game one super chat. Everyone needs to lay off RJ. He will have his moments this series, and we will love it. Forget about my stupid prediction of Cavs in 5. Knicks in 5. Eastern Conference Finals. #crosshive. Let's go Knicks. Thank you, Alex. David Crockett, where Julius Randle has grown, is it not letting bad things spiral? He is learning to do less, not more. Defend, rebounds, move the ball smartly. That's enough. David, is there a way that we could get your super chat? Like, I don't know. How does Julius Randle take in his information? Does he go on Twitter? Does he read his email? Text, maybe? I agree with that. Like, that's a compliment. Like, someone needs to tell Julius. I'm dead serious. Someone needs to tell Julius Randle this. Like, here's why you've grown. And here's what you need to embody for the next however many games are left in this playoffs. Excellent. David, we always have my favorite things to say. Brian Valderrama, no way Tibbs benches Randle if he's 100%.
Is Randle playing this poorly if he's 100%?
Yeah, it's a weird alternative universe question. I mean, you might be right. I don't know. Yeah. Roger Fortune. Man, I just got back from the game and the Garden was electric. Shout out to Star J. I was chanting my ass off with everybody else. Brunson is him and Deuce. Those minutes of defense were incredible. And he hit a 3. That Deuce 3. Again, it's talk about underrated moments of this game. There were a handful of them. Deuce's 3 was huge. Come in, do your job. Be a star in your role. Deuce did that. 5 minutes, star in his role. Andrew Palladino, Josh Hart is never allowed to take out the New York Braids. And he's never allowed to leave New York. I'm going to help him buy that townhouse. Jay Berg, Randle has to be hurt. He didn't try any bully ball once tonight. That's a great observation that we somehow have not pointed out. He tried once. He drove. It was in the first half.
I said this like 15 minutes ago. That's why he's not able to take advantage of Mobley.
Yeah, but there was that one moment where he did drive, and it was a great look, and he missed it. I think it was towards the end of the first quarter. And it just like rimmed out, and I was like, man, Julius is missing that. That's not
he went to his right and missed. Yeah, okay, I remember.
Yeah,
it was his third shot attempt. I remember now.
That was the only one. Anyway, yeah. Is Tibbs the best coach at calling timeouts in the league? Always stops opponents' momentum at the right time. His timeouts tonight were I use this word purposefully. Masterful timing on the timeouts tonight. Before I could even get the words out of my mouth. Oh, we need a timeout here. Timeout. Lucas, scotch in my belly. It's funny. It's the one thing I haven't had today. I started with a Guinness, and then I enjoyed my Expressionist Shiraz, which was delicious, and I finished the bottle. And now I'm going back to Guinness. Maybe I'll have a scotch for a nightcap. We'll see. Jesse M. wearing the hymn shirt. Someone call Pastor Claudio. HYMN. I love that.
Big fan of yours, by the way, Pastor Claudio.
Love Pastor Claudio.
I'm saying big fan of yours. Like, we were watching your...
Oh, me?
We were watching you on the... He was watching your postgame yesterday at my fiance's bridal shower. So the guys had their corner. We were watching the Yankees / Brooklyn. And my dad was I was like, Dad, what are you watching? And it's like, oh, I was watching John on the post game read rap lyrics. Anyway.
Yeah. Ahmed Abukdare. It's your boy Robert. My bad, wrong person. I'm wondering if you think the Knicks could generate offense in future rounds. Do you think they could keep the defense going against stretch bigs? We know what their game plan is there. They concede threes to stretch bigs. It's just what they do. You have to pick your poison. If you want to protect the rim, you can't guard stretch bigs as like serious threats. I mean, you can make an effort to get out there, which I'm sure they'll account for, but like they'll, if they move on to the next round and it is Milwaukee, Brook Lopez is going to get his opportunities to beat the Knicks, which is worrisome. As far as can the Knicks generate offense in future rounds? Yeah, I mean, I think there is an argument that Milwaukee might be the worst matchup for in the league against Jalen Brunson, certainly in the top 2 or 3. And it's not like it's a great matchup for Julius either. They're just, I think the Bucks, because of their rim protection and because of Drew and, I mean, there is an argument that the Bucks have 3 of the, certainly an argument that they have 3 of the 10 best defensive players in the league, maybe even more than that. And when you could put those guys out there on the floor at the same time, and 2 of them happen to spot up against the positions of the 2 of the 3 best Knicks, it's tough. And it's not like their other guys are slouch. It's not like Chris Middleton's a slouch either, or Pat Connaughton or Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis, we know he has some defensive shortcomings, but like he knows what he's doing on that end of the floor. He's a net neutral. That would be such a tough series. I don't even want to talk about it yet. It would be such a tough series. Josso Focus, the last one. Last one. Stats are important, but mental fortitude could be just as important or even more so. Hashtag 53 wins. Hashtag ride with RJ. Yes. Mental fortitude, 100%. Joe Dugan. Ironically, the Knicks blowing all those close games early in the year are paying dividends now. Got the reps and learned. We close now. Tibbs A+ season. I wonder how much that played into it. Maybe it did. I hadn't thought about that. It's good. I mean, they closed today. They look calm, cool, and collected out there today. Look calm, cool, and collected out there in game 3. Look pretty calm, cool, and collected out there in game 1. It's all good stuff. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you. Stevens Guillaume. Never gave up on my boy, Rowan. I'm ready to jump out the window. John, are you? I'm ready to jump out the window for RJ. For sure. I'm ready to jump out the window for RJ. Is that enough? CT Pittman, do you think we close it out on Wednesday? Shout out to you, CT, OG of the Super Chats. If we win this series 4-1, some combos are going to be, if they win this series 4-1, man. Do I think they're going to close it out on Wednesday? If you put a gun to my head right now, I think they show up and they play a great game on Wednesday, but like I'd probably put my money on game 6. I wouldn't put it past them to win on Wednesday for sure. We'll see. Alex with another one. Quick prayer for my future son-in-law, Quentin Grimes. Get well. Yeah, again, they did it today without Quentin Grimes. Good job by them. And get well soon. They need him. Moving forward, for sure, they need him. And they need him to get right. Alex with another one. I still need to hear more about Dukes. Wax poetic. Sure, I can wax poetic about Dukes for a second. It's really hard in the NBA to be out of the rotation and then come in and produce. And Deuce has done it repeatedly. Like, I think before the Josh Hart trade, for as well as they had played since Deuce had been in the rotation, there was absolutely for me at least, I was like, I just didn't trust the second unit offense. And I was like, in the playoffs, it's going to be tough because you got him out there and, it's him, quickly, Barrett, Obi. Like, is there going to be enough offense? The numbers on those units offensively were really bad. Like, they just weren't good. So I agreed with the trade. And, like, if you're a young player and that trade happens, how easy is it to just get so down on yourself and just be like, oh, man, I'm not even playing this and that. Deuce didn't do any of that. Like the mental fortitude, great job by him. Just great job by him. I don't have anything else to say. Great job by him. And he comes in and he makes a positive impact. Since he's been out, this is what I was trying to get to. Since he's been out of the rotation, every time he comes in, positive impact. That's a testament to him. Sangfreud 929. Thank you for the contribution, Sangfreud. Sanjay Ari Kuparathu. I think I got that right. Sanjay. Brunson on a descending contract is 100% the best signing. Love the show. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Appreciate it. And I apologize for probably butchering your last name, but I tried. And yes, Brunson is amazing free agent signing. One of the best bargains in basketball. Ryan Nelson, after 4 years of inefficient, mediocre, and sometimes embarrassing basketball, I finally have a measure of faith in the RJ experience. Oh, damning praise there. Look, that's a little bit too harsh. It has been largely inefficient. It has been sometimes mediocre. Actually, it's never been embarrassing. Here's the thing. I don't think I've never been embarrassed by RJ Barrett. Like what I'll say this, I'm been defending Julius this whole post game. What Julius did last year, that was embarrassing. RJ Barrett's never done anything that was embarrassing. I think sometimes the faith that the fan base at times has had in him, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, this is really a lot. And that has been paid off, and that has been warranted in retrospect. So that's not embarrassing. The play itself has not been embarrassing. Mediocre, and that's the other part about RJ is it's like, it's rarely mediocre. It's either great or really good or like just bad, which is what makes him such a maddening player, or has made him such a maddening player for me at least. But he's also had stretches where he's been like, his entire second year, other than the first 10 games, he was exactly what that team needed. You could argue he was the second most important / best player on that team that went 41-31. And then the last, 3.5 months of last season, I mean, 24 points a game wasn't that inefficient. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it in perspective. RJ's been far from all bad. Far from it. I don't think he's been good this year, but he's also dealt with some like injuries, the finger thing, like, sick earlier in the year. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Kevin with another one. Kevin Danishevsky. Been awesome 3 years. What a story. From we here to play the kids to we back. It's all been worth it. On another note, sit Randle game 5. Quentin Grimes in a sling. Sad face. Julius Randle ain't sitting in game 5. Yeah. Alex, Deuce McManacles clamped down on Donovan Mitchell. I need more. Deuce McManacles. That's a name. I like it. I don't know if that's gonna catch on though. Might be a bit of a stretch, Alex. Kanyan Pepper, what's going on, Kanyan? They calling you matching salary on Twitter. Shake my head. That was me.
There people who are coming at you for calling.
Listen, that's fine.
Go ahead, have your fun today, guys.
Listen, bring it on, man.
It means the Knicks won. That's all that matters.
Yeah, listen. If the Knicks are winning, it's all good. Jacob Slavitt. Shout out Leon Rose and co. They really put together a team that we can all be proud of. RJ finally stopped thinking and balled. Yes. What a time to be alive. Eastern Conference. # Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. I mean, it's a team that's like, in terms of the imprint of the city and what the city is and what the defining characteristics of this city, So good job by Leon Rose. And good job, Tom Thibodeau. Zach Horowitz, who's going to make an old school KFS highlight reel of the RJ moments? Oh, we need JB back for that. But no, you'll get some. We got 2 days off, so I'm sure you're going to get some Benji stuff. You're going to get some DJ Zulo stuff. I'm looking forward to all that. And one for Mitch, outmanning the Cavs bigs. Please. Appreciate it. Let's freaking go. KFS. Cheers. Alex with another one. Underreported story of the year. How much the team improved after trading locker room cancer Ryan Arcidiacono. Leon, executive of the year. I love it. That's great. And Alex is coming through. He's rivaling Robert Cross for the Super Chats tonight. Maybe Fred thought he was ranking Dwayne Wade. Maybe. Hashtag MacBook for sale. Hashtag ride the D train. Fred's still waiting on his Pulitzer for that one. Between me with matching salary and Fred with Dean Wade ranked above RJ, Tuesday's pod should just be like me and Fred in the position of the guy in Animal House. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Just that's the whole pod. 45 minutes of thank you, sir. May I have another? That's the only way. This is the way. Danny Gardner. Holy shit, you're still going. Yes, I am. That's what she said. Wanted to add my favorite RJ play was when he left the dump off to iHeart. Come on, it was right there.
That's what she said.
As the ambulance goes by outside.
Yeah, we've been hard here way too long. Go ahead, keep going.
If it lasts for 4 hours, you should call a doctor.
Mm-hmm. There's our next sponsor.
Oh my God, can we get what was that called again?
Blue Chew.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Blue,
yes.
Yeah.
You know who to call when I go to Blue Wire. Okay, this super chat.
But where have we gone? I can't even see the rails.
The rails are we're in
gone.
space. We're in space at this point. Go ahead.
I wanted to add my favorite RJ play was when he left the dump off to iHeart on the delayed roll and he got fouled. Process. Fourth quarter, right? That was fourth quarter. Yeah. Great play. His entire again, that was when I had I thought the Neo in the Matrix comparison was appropriate. It was like it was all coming together. It's
Love
perfect.
Count. Yeah.
Yeah. The only bad things were like he missed some threes and they were great shots. Zach Horowitz, we never lost to the Bucks in the Josh Hart era. It's true. And we were in all of those games, if memory serves. Yeah, we were in all of the Bucks games. That is correct.
Not the first one. First one was in Milwaukee. They went on like a weird 19-0 run in the third quarter. So if you want to say it didn't get out of hand until the third quarter, they were in the game down the stretch of the other two games. Though.
The Knicks were in a bad place back when they played that first game. But yeah, I'm not betting against these boys versus anyone. You shouldn't bet against them. They've earned as much to not have them be bet against. Robert Cross, it's your boy John. The series is can't even read that out loud. The series is something. You are welcome.
I'll read it. It's your boy John. The series is over. You are welcome to join Mensa and I. Knicks in 5, hashtag 53 wins. Some stats for the stat man as we go to Cheddar Ass Man's house on Wednesday. Teams with a 3-1 lead in the NBA playoffs are 258-13. Only 3 teams have ever come back. That is the stat. 258-13 with a 3-1 lead.
258-13?
Yes. I'll DM you the link that from shout out Land of Basketball where I pulled this up.
I wrote it down. It's fine.
Yes. 258-13. There's only been 13 3-1 leads blown in the NBA playoffs, 3 of which were in the first round. The most recent one was when in the bubble when the Nuggets came back.
Oh, against Donovan Mitchell's Jazz.
Yeah, so Donovan Mitchell knows all about blowing a 3-1 lead, although it was in Disney World. And one other one that I'm thinking, the other 2, I know them. That's the Kobe first round against the Suns when the Suns came back from 3-1 as a 2 seed. And it's Tracy McGrady against Doc Rivers, with Detroit Doc Rivers as his coach, against the Pistons before the Pistons went on their run of 5 straight conference finals.
When they were asking Tracy McGrady questions about how nice it'll be to finally get out of the first round after the game 4.
Yes.
Remember that shit.
Hold on. We'll get
busy. I wish RJ. What?
No, there's another one that is after that. That's better energy to end the post game on.
Okay, you just skipped. I hope I'm coming through clearly. Busy. I wish RJ got the defense you are giving Julius for having a bad game. Well, in my defense, for my lack of defense, Julius played at an all-star level this year and has an all-NBA pedigree, and RJ does not.
And in my defense, isn't this what Kelly from Insecure calls growth? We are learning how to criticize players better. Busy. We're adapting how we're learning from the RJ Barrett experience that we criticized him all year, and now it's called growth. We're gonna more contextual with our Julius Randle critiques.
You know what I needed to see? I needed to see RJ Barrett come up huge in a big spot. RJ Barrett has now come up huge in some big spots. My criticism moving forward of him will be very, very different.
Yep. Everything's different now. Agreed. Last one.
Zach ending it hopefully on a high note. In the last 3 years, there's been games where Randle has been the only Knick playing great. I love this that we're ending on this. I hope he can accept and appreciate the role reversal. Yeah, and we could do a little bit behind the scenes here. So the Knicks locker room was not, I guess, open for a while after this game. I hope I'll say this. For as much as Julius's physical might have been responsible for what we saw tonight, I'm more worried about the mental, and I hope we can get Julius right moving forward because they just need him. They need him. He's going to keep playing, and they need him, and they need him in his best. And that's all. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. They need him, and I hope he's okay.
Cosign. Speaking of getting you at your best, Jonathan Macri, 3.5 hours on a live stream. Look at you, sir. Look at all these meaningful minutes you just put in.
I was about to say I might be matching salary, but it's $26.7 million.
What could we get in a trade for you?
For me? Oh my!
What could we get back?
I don't know.
Would the Athletic give us Fred?
6-pack of beer?
Oh yeah, we probably have to go lower in the round, down on the ladder. Unfortunately, we might have to go find a Cleveland podcaster that knows nothing about the Knicks.
Oh Jesus! Don't trade me for some out-of-market podcaster.
I'm just wondering, if you're matching salary at this point, we have to throw Chris in to at least get something back that we
listen. If you're an RJ stan and you're taking victory laps around my corpse, keep it going. This is where you're like, this is where Standem, like, this is why Standem exists, I think, because you believe, right? It's the belief. Yeah. No, I mean, this genuinely, like why not? If you cannot reap the benefits of like this, like what is the point of Standem? My view is I'm here to try to be rational, but you can't be a fan and be completely rational. You're always going to have your opinions. And my opinion of RJ Barrett through the course of his career has been more skewed towards the negative. And if you're a stan of his, like, take a bow because your faith has been rewarded. I can't say it any other way other than that. So
good way to end. We've got 3 more super chats also that just came in because they rule, because everybody's awesome. First, Ryan,
John, your RJ analysis has always been fair-minded and exceedingly restrained. I appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you. Don't think you even deserve Crow for purely objective evaluations. Yeah, I mean, I sure, but I've also gone outside of the numbers for players who actually, have I done this? I haven't done this in a while.
I actually think the case against RJ has been, these are the numbers. Now do what you want with them. And the pushback, which is why we've always been like, Mensa, we hear you, is like, he's 22. Like, guys that are 22 can get better.
And
it's that is the take. Is like, all right, fine. Like Zach Lowe said it. Like, you don't throw out guys that are 22 that can average 20 a game. And we've understood it, even if we've doubted if it'll get better. And guess what? It got better. It's he's actually good take.
Yeah, I know.
Think is stupid,
The numbers. I used to do it all the time. Like, be like a stand for a player who the numbers didn't justify me being a stand for. And you know when that ended? No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Melo, because that's been my hardest hill to defend at times.
Frank.
Oh, Frankie smokes. Yeah.
And even that, there were like on-off numbers, and like, look at his numbers with Damian Dotson, 900 minutes, positive net rating for a terrible team.
I remember your Lance Thomas standing. I remember that.
I just love Lance Thomas's.
Yeah.
That was just a personal thing. But yeah, no, after Frank, I was like, because I showed such faith in Frank, despite the fact that he averaged like 5 points a game, whatever the hell it was. And I was like, this guy is a future star. It will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mark my words. And guess what? It didn't happen.
So Jeremy and I actually have a long standing bet from years ago, like 2017, that I'm never going to cash in. I don't care. But when we were doing our old Knicks pod, I said, the day that Frank scores 30 in a game, I'll buy you the most expensive dinner you could think of. Now, again, I don't care. I wanted to buy that dinner.
Yeah, no, of course.
But regardless,
it
didn't happen.
But the unfortunate part is like that, and the Frank thing kind of petering out right as I was like getting big into this, and kind of like had to. Maybe I didn't have to, but in my mind, I had to be more objective and numbers based and all of that about my takes and whatnot. The unfortunate thing is that like Frank was the 8th pick in the draft. RJ Barrett was the 3rd pick in the draft, who was the number 1 player in the nation. So like, if there was ever a guy to give yourself over to unabashed belief, it's this guy. And maybe it was just the timing of it, but like I just didn't have it in me. I'll write a book about it someday. How about that? Thank you, Ryan.
2 more.
Alex, if your live stream lasts longer than 4 hours, please call your doctor. # riding the D train. Fantastic use of that hashtag with this super chat comment. And finally, Manny Campos, Macri for Giancarlo. Who says no? JK, love you guys.
We'll assess this in round 2.
Who says no?
When we see them, we see them go 1-on-1 against each other. Miami says no.
No. Miami says no?
Yeah. They don't want a real sports fan down there. What are you talking about? You're welcome.
Oh, God. All right. Thank you, everybody. This is our longest live stream in Knicks Film. This is our longest anything in Knicks Film.
Longest post game. We did a 6-hour free agency draft. Free agency live stream. Yes, as somebody who edited it. Yes, we did I got a story for that. Like, just a quick memory lane. So that thing ended around 1 a.m. Started editing around 2. It released 1 at a time, about an hour at a time, from 3 until 9. I go take a shower. I'm getting ready to pass out. The Knicks signed Mitchell Robinson. And I was like, all right, we're back on. So
I remember that actually.
That was I remember calling you to wake you up and be like, okay, like we're back on.
I did. Now that you mentioned it, I do remember that.
But post game wise, and it's appropriate because this is one of the biggest, favorite, best Knicks
massive
in, I'll say it, since the 90s, and that's me going over 2013.
Listen, the Knicks are up 3-1 in a playoff series. Jesus. All right.
As underdogs. Like, it's a team that's the second best net rating, John.
And against a team that is Donovan Mitchell. All right. Thanks, everybody. If you're watching this still, thank you. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. If you're listening to this in podcast form, drop a review, talk about how these people are insane, that they are sitting here talking for 3 hours and 40 minutes. And everybody else should join in the insanity. We will be back with more fun and games very soon. I think I'm recording with Jeremy tomorrow, Monday, and then Kat's on Tuesday, and then we got a game on Wednesday.
Very special episode on Monday. It's episode 600. And we've we've always been able to get a special guest. So you're going to want to tune in Tuesday morning to see who our special guest is.
Special. It's one word for it.
Give it away.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Let's
Later.
go Knicks.